Hello, Nick family. Welcome to my channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live or drop a video. Today, the question is, do we have stars or potential stars on this team, or are we as fans overvaluing our players? Today, we're going to go through each player, if we have the time, and ask ourselves, is this guy a potential star slash superstar, high end or low end starter, or a rotation bench player? For the purpose of this discussion, star slash superstar will be one category. Sometimes it's difficult to tease out the difference between a star or a superstar. It's a matter of degrees. So we're going to keep that in one category. I'm joined today by our one of our resident panelists, Jarrell and Stafford Don. How you guys doing?
Salute Steph, salute Stab, salute everybody in the chat that's gonna see this. This should be fun, man. I'm excited about this one. Thanks for
Yeah,
inviting me
definitely.
again.
Yeah, it's always peace and blessings to you, Queen. Jarrell was good. Peace to the chat. Yeah, it's gonna be a spicy night tonight. So
This is gonna be this is definitely gonna be a spicy one. I thought I would start with the bench. So before I even
okay.
get into each one, I figure we might all agree on the bench, maybe not. So I'm gonna put out who I think is gonna be a bench role player in their career. If we all agree, we can move on. If not, we can discuss it, and then we can get to one by one after that. So
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
cool.
for the bench role players, I might get a little pushback now that I'm looking at it. I got Taj, I got D Rose, I got Sims, I got Burks, I got Kimba, and I got McBride.
Okay.
Ooh,
I'm about to say you put Kimba in there.
You left out one person.
who's that? Who else would you put?
What did you mention Grimes?
I see Grimes as a starter.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Hey,
okay, okay,
let's
okay,
discuss it. So
okay. So we're not
who
talking about. Are we talking about present or what we like the potential, like their
potential
ceiling?
ceiling,
Oh yeah,
potential
yeah, yeah.
ceiling.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, potential ceiling for sure, for sure. We good with that because I put McBride in that bench role player category for now.
That
Feel
that
free to
hurts.
disagree with
That's
that.
fine
That
with
hurts
me.
me.
That's fine with me.
It hurts me a little bit, but I
Well,
I can't
give us
argue.
what you think.
See, I like Deuce, man. I think the only thing, not the only thing, but the main thing he has to work on is his playmaking. So I think his ceiling goes as far as that. But yeah, for what he's shown so far, yeah, I can't argue that. Like maybe, yeah, his ceiling is maybe 6 man off the bench, play a little defense, and that's about it. Kemba, I don't even think he should be on that list. You got a reserve list. You got like a player that need this hold a clipboard list. That might be with Taj too. Like him and Taj might
Huh?
not be on no list or
Yeah,
going forward after this season. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't see any problem with any of that.
yeah. I mean, the only thing I'll say about McBride is, I think about where Lowry started. I think about
Hmm.
where Van Vliet started. There's a chance.
Yeah,
There's
Right.
definitely, I think for any of these guys, right? There's a
right.
chance. But for what I've seen so far, right now I'm putting him as a bench role player. But I'll
Okay,
put it this way: I wouldn't be surprised if he turned into a starter. Would you,
okay.
Staffer, be surprised if McBride turned into a starter?
No, I wouldn't be surprised, but he has to improve on his game, like how we was talking last night. He has a lot to improve before I could fully say he could be a potential starter. So for right now, I like him where he's at. He needs to prove on his jump shot. He needs to prove on his 3 point shot. Well, I think they say he shot very good in college, if I remember
Hmm.
what you
You
were
did.
saying last night. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you need to pull up on his. You need to work on his jumper. Um, have have a go-to move. Put the ball on the floor a little more, go to the rim, attack the rim a little more. I mean, we saw it in the G League, but we didn't saw it with the big club. And stop deferring a little too much, right? So once I see that aggression in him, then I could say yes, he could be a starter. But for right now, I still got him on the bench, but he still need a little seasoning for for him to be a starter.
He need to marinate.
Yeah, yeah,
He needs to
yeah,
marinate
yeah,
a little more. But I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised if he became a starter in this league. Shout out to Raf Diaz and Angel Torres for rocking with us.
Salute.
I appreciate that. All right. So I think the other ones is probably best to take them one at a time so I don't uh prejudice your selection instead of presenting them as a group. Um, let's start with the guy who I don't even know if he's still on the team, Noel. So we went through. So where do you see him? Starter. I think his superstar days are past, but
Oh yeah, you won't have to worry about that answer for me. Yeah, Noel, I think he should be the bench player, but if he
okay,
is a starter, I can honestly see that if he stays healthy. Say
right,
if we do so happen to not let Mitch go, but say if he walks and Noel actually stays healthy next year and he's still on the team, he can be our starter going forward for that 1 year at least.
right, right.
But I'm not, I don't want that, but it's possible. So I have to put him in the starter category just because of that possibility.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You bring up a good point. I could have put him in that bench category
Hmm.
too. Um,
I
I
noticed you
mean,
didn't say him.
yeah, yeah.
Please believe me. I noticed you didn't say him.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, he could have definitely went in that bench category too. Like with starters, I kind of broke it up into high end, low end starter. He would be
Okay.
like that low end
Low,
starter
low,
that
Right,
low,
right.
you
low.
know.
Sorry. Barry White low. Low, low.
like a step from the bench, you
Right.
know.
mm,
Um,
mm.
those, players that you can put in a pinch, but they're really so you're right. Yeah, that's true. Noel could have been put a bench player. But I did have a L in my defense next to him, like a low end,
Okay.
um,
I
low
would
end.
Capital
agree
L.
with that. I would agree with that. I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
cool.
all right. Let's get into Grimes. Stafford, we start with you, and then we get with Jarrell. What's his ceiling in your opinion?
Well, for right now, the only reason why I say, well, you said potential, right?
Right.
So I'm looking at is when Fournier leaves, his contract is over, then he will be that potential star.
Mm.
But for right now, I like his energy coming off the bench,
Hmm.
right? I like when he gets into the player. He's high intensity. He's into the game. He's engaged. Once he's engaged and the shot is dropping, his defense is on. So I mean, I have to agree with you last night. Being a 3 and D player will get you at least 10 to 12 years in this league,
Yep.
No doubt about
right?
it.
So for me, after when Fournier leaves, or he just comes out and show us something different, right?
Hmm.
And becomes a potential starter like this year or next year, um, yeah, why not? But he has to start putting the ball on the floor. He has to start have a go-to move, in my opinion.
Let me
Better
ask you
ball.
this. Oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. I thought you was finished. No, no, go ahead.
Better ball handling skills, right? So in my opinion, let him marinate on the bench a little bit. Let him get those things that he need to work on, right? The mid range, the ball handling, putting the ball on the floor. Then after I could say, okay, once I see that and Fournier leaves, I could see him as a potential star.
Well, let me ask you this before I get to Jarrell.
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
if he never develops anything other than what we seen his first year, do you think he is a starter in this league if he doesn't improve anything else? Just shooting the three, playing good defense.
I mean, it all depends on which team he's on, in my opinion, right? So if they need a 3-and-D guy to come on as a potential starter on that particular team, right? Yeah, right. But you know, if that's his ceiling, as you said, Queen, 10 to 12 years as a 3-and-D shooting the three, he'll make it anyway,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. He'll make it.
Yep.
yeah,
But
so
whether he starts is yeah.
It all depends on the team, right? So for right now, if he doesn't improve, he will have to stay a bench player. If
Okay.
he does improve, as I say, his things that he need to be improved, yeah, no doubt, put him in the starting lineup.
Okay. Jarrell?
I think he could be a perfect 3-and-D guy, like you said. I do agree with Staff though. If he works on his shot making, he'll be a lot better player. But even for what he does now, I mean, a lot of people. I don't want to compare him to Klay Thompson, but there are players out there like that can start because they play good defense and shoot the three like that without having to put the ball on the floor. So I can't say that he won't be a starter just because of that. If he doesn't develop that, it just depends on if he develops everything else.
Yeah, he has a better chance. What I'm getting from Stafford to piggyback off of him is there are certain teams that value that type of guy. Like think about Philly. At one point, didn't Danny Green start for them?
Yep.
3-and-D. A few other teams he started for, and because they needed that shooting. Toronto,
Yeah,
right?
Toronto too.
Yeah, they needed that shooting. They needed somebody to stretch the defense.
Yep.
Even though he didn't really bring much else. So you're right. There are certain teams that value that and he can start. But to make himself the type of player that can start on pretty much any team, he has to develop. He has to develop.
I get that. Or maybe even be a better defender.
Right.
Like Bruce Bowen ain't developed nothing on offense but a corner 3-pointer.
Well, you're right. If you elite like that.
Right. If he gets up to elite defense, then yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no doubt. And if he starts putting the ball on the floor, he starts getting to the rim, he tighten up his handle. That's now he's a totally, a totally different player. I mean, I think why this is important, it's a little ways away, but the first opportunity to make this team better, if the Knicks decide not to stay pat, is going to be at the draft.
Right.
Because in the draft, not only do you get a chance to draft, a player, there's also the opportunity to make trades.
Yep.
And we're very tied to our guys. So I do like to talk about them and see, like, who do we really have? What type of upside do we really have, on this team? Who do we really want to keep? Because we really believe that this guy has the potential to be a star or a superstar. Do we really want to make a big deal out of guys that are low-end bench players?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because for us to draft somebody has to go anyway. Like, has to. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really tight right now. I don't really see a path forward. I mean, listen, if he's really good, he's gonna play ahead of somebody that's probably in the rotation or
depending on the position.
Right. Depending on the position. We get that number one pick. We was talking last night.
2%.
That 2% chance we get that number one pick. I'm going for Samaki. In my opinion, I think he has a higher upside than Obi Toppin. So
which player?
Did I say his name right? I said Samaki.
You said Samaki. You talking about Jabari?
Jabari.
Oh,
I said
Jabari
Samaki.
Smith.
Jabari.
I was about to say
I went
Samaki.
all
I'm like, who's Samaki?
I was
this
gonna
a
let
new
you
guy
slide
just
with it. I
into the
was
draft?
chilling. I was just
laying
gonna
in the
roll
cut,
with
like, you know what? I'm gonna let her rock on with that.
Nah, that's
Stafford
wrong.
Because
came
I knew
from
who you meant.
behind he came from behind his logo. He said, "Hey, hold up."
He got back on camera and said, "Wait, who was that?" But yeah, if we get Jabari Smith, yeah, that's no question. Obi's still gonna be on the bench for a long time, or
Yeah,
he's out of here. Period. He's
yeah.
not
I
the
mean,
same
unless he
player as
plays,
that.
behind him, and I'm interested in the chat. If we were able to get Jabari Samaki Jr., he was able to get
Jabari Samaki Jr.
Jabari Smith, do you think he has a higher upside than Obi Toppin? All right,
I
so
think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, if y'all saw him play, yeah, he definitely does.
I think so. So Grimes, we agree, bench rotation player, low end starter if he doesn't add to his game. All right.
Yeah,
I'm trying to say the
agreed.
juicy ones, but it is all right. I don't, less. All of them are juicy, basically. That's left. So
Okay.
let's go with Mitch. If
He
um
resigns with us.
if he resigns, what's Mitch? He's a starter. Do you see a star / superstar in Mitch?
No, no way. He has no. Like he hasn't developed anything for me to say that. No, he's not even a star defensively to me. Like in that case,
Oh
he'd be like,
wow.
no, not
Wow. That
defensively.
was you don't think he could be
A
an elite
star?
defensive? Well, not
No,
a
not a
star
star. You said a
on a
starter.
No, oh no, she asked me, do he have star potential though?
as
That's what
as
she
Oh,
a
asked.
okay,
on the
okay,
defensive
okay.
side. On
Even on the
like
defensive
like
side,
to me, I see Gobert as a defensive star.
yeah.
Um,
So
offensively limited,
you see
but
him as good as Gobert going forward though.
let me tell you, let me tell you,
He has to
he
work on
has
his free throws. Gobert could hit free throws.
yeah, he
Mitch
definitely has.
needs to work on his free throws. If
He
he could
does.
do that, then I could put him up there because Gobert don't really do nothing but block shots, set picks, and hit free throws. So, and a rim runner. So,
He's a rim runner, but I think he changes. You
yeah.
don't think he changes the game defensively or makes it difficult for
Yes.
opposing teams
Yes.
defensively?
Yes. 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 I believe so. I believe so.
So
I,
that
And
so I
when
guess
he's
go ahead,
down
Drew.
on that block, he's blocking people like crazy. Go
so
ahead,
that
Drew.
if that's the case, then you expect Mitch to be like a all team defense first team at least once or twice. That's what I'm saying.
Because that's the level
That's what I'm saying.
Gobert
Like
is playing
Gobert
at.
is a 4-time defensive player of the year. So if you
I
think
think he
that's
could reach
Mitch's
that
ceiling,
potential. I think
okay,
he
with
could
that
reach
case,
that potential.
all right. If that's the case, then yeah, he should try to get his money then, and we need to pay him. If that's the case, if you think that's his ceiling, then yeah, we definitely need to pay Mitch. Then it just depends on what side of the fence you on.
Right. Well, what side of the fence are you on?
No, no,
No, no.
nah. I
You
don't
don't
think he's
see
going to
that
be.
type of potential.
Nah, not Rudy Gobert potential. I still think he's going to be a starter. It's just not the star part of it. I think he'll be a low level starter just because of the offense. I put him in the low level because I would like my center to at least keep the defense honest on the other side, and he does do anything for us on offense except for offensive rebounds at this point. So, do I see him developing anything better than that? No, because of the free throws. He's always been a bad free throw shooter. And I don't think he's going to. I don't think that's going to change. So unless he gets stronger and have some type of crazy post moves that he develop in the future, he will always be the same person on offense. Like there's nothing going to change.
Right. Shout out to Shy Powers, who thinks Mitch can be a defensive stopper and maybe hit a defensive team more than once. That's some big upside.
That's what I'm saying. That
Um,
would be nice.
No, but Jarrell, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta go back to last night's show, and
Okay.
Queen did her research and brought up Ben Wallace, and Ben Wallace was only averaging 2 points or something
I
like
missed
that.
that show. You compare Ben Wallace to Mitch?
Oh no, no. We was talking about Sims actually. That's even worse,
Oh,
right?
Sims.
That's
Oh,
even
that's
worse.
even.
Right. No,
Hold on. What was y'all talking about?
no. But no, the only reason why I'm saying is that nobody saw Ben Wallace as a potential defensive star, right? After
Yeah, that's true.
and then he's the only player to have two triple doubles with 10 blocks. So I
Yeah,
mean,
true. That's
he
true.
can. I think he could get there. But as I said before, and then Ben Wallace wasn't even a great free throw shooter.
Oh no, he was
Yeah,
terrible.
he was
He
terrible. I
was
remember that.
terrible.
But when
Yeah,
you
So I
so
mean,
terrible in one area, you got to be dominant in
yeah,
another.
that's what I'm saying. Like Ben Wallace is dominant at the stuff that he was good at. Mitch
yeah,
isn't
but
dominant yet. He
no,
has to
but
be dominant at
Mitch,
that stuff.
but you got to remember, Mitch led the league in field goals percentage 1 year, so he could finish around the rim, right? Even
Having
though
a point guard does, yeah, you're right.
even you say he's only doing offensive rebounds,
Hmm.
I
That's
still
true.
think he could set picks. He could do the alley oops with pick and roll between him and RJ, right? And I think he got potential, bro. I
Yeah,
really think so. And I think he was averaging 1 point something block,
1.8, I believe.
some almost two.
1.8.
Yeah,
So I mean, look, I
I should
think
have
he
saved
had.
Mitch for Tony. I don't know why.
right, right. Yeah, Tony.
Early.
Yeah, Tony would
We
have
might
been
have to
like,
run that back
right,
when
right.
he
Tony would
gets
have
No,
been
on.
it's
crazy.
all good. So I think Mitchka has the potential, man. And I said this before. I think once we get him engaged and start looking for him a little more, then you'll see more effort in his game, more offensively, in my
Hmm.
opinion,
I
right?
understand that.
Because remember the one time he put the ball on the floor, crossover, bam,
Yeah,
right?
I
You know
remember
what
the
I
one
mean?
time he
It
did
was
that.
one time though.
I
Yeah,
remember the
one
one
That's
time he
time,
all.
did
but
that.
I do think he still has potential to do those type of things.
That's true.
But Tom Thibodeau is not predicating the offense around him or even as a third or fourth option, right? So I mean, however he gets his points, he's gonna get his points. But on the defensive rebounds and the offensive rebounds and the blocks and free throws, that's where he has to try and master those craft right there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't worry too much about the offense, but he could master those things. I think he could be a star.
I
Not a
Oh, so
superstar, but I think he could be a
you
star.
saying
oh,
so
okay.
you saying star superstar?
No, I ain't
Joel,
saying superstar. I
well, I
said
mean it's the same
Yeah,
category
potential
same
star.
for the
category.
purpose of
Okay,
Okay,
this show.
okay.
It's
He
okay,
the
could be
same
okay.
category.
upgraded. That's what
Um,
she's saying.
and Jarrell, you saying starter?
Starter.
I'm saying starter, but I will say to your point, Staffer, there have been games in which Mitch has looked dominant.
That is true.
There have been games in which I've said to myself, wow, wow, if he performs on this level on a consistent basis, he could be at the level of a Gobert. I think he does have that defensive potential. However,
Mm.
he's really, really inconsistent. And so the question for me is when I see him perform like that, is that just a flash in the pan?
Right.
Or can he get to a level? Because anybody could flash for a game or two or what have you. But can he get to a point where he's playing like that game in and game out? And I think
Right.
that's for me where I'm going to say just starter. I just don't see Mitch. He's
Right.
had 4 years. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, he came out of high school 1 year, where he was just working on his own.
Hmm.
We say he has a lot of injuries, but when you look back, it's just that 1 year. Those other years, he played like 60 games. So I'm thinking, that he had a lot of. He played like 60 games, except for last season.
Right.
So it's
That's
Right.
not
true.
like the injuries have been a major,
Factor.
factor, right?
Right.
Um, I'm gonna say starter, but I wouldn't be surprised if he became a defensive star. I
Okay.
can't see Mitch becoming a star. I can't see him becoming a star, which
I'm
means on
along with
both
the
sides
defensive star.
of the ball. Mm,
Mm.
Now, if we get like a point guard that will, kind of unlock Mitch a little bit, then, conversation changes a little bit.
Yeah.
But
And you
that has to
see,
happen though. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing. Like stuff has to happen in order for him to be a star. So usually stars don't need stuff to happen for them to be
That's what I was
stars.
about to say.
Like
That's what
Mitch
I was
needs
but
about to
stuff to
say.
happen in order for him to be at that level.
but to your point, Jarrell, right? You see the games we had double double, the guys were looking for him. He was
Right, yeah, you're right.
engaged, right?
That's true.
So as I said before, they have to look for him and make him be engaged because he said it in one of his posts, right? Why run up and down the court for nothing?
That is true. Like
It don't make no
if they
sense.
look for Mitch, right, his 8 points a game can easily turn into at least 14
Yes, I believe so.
with a good point guard. It's not
Yeah.
that that's not a stretch. You're right. And if he
Yeah,
did score 14, upped his rebound a little bit to like 14 and 10, and played defense like that, then yeah, you're absolutely right.
yeah.
I get
I
that.
mean, I think on our team there were more opportunities in the pick and roll to hit Mitch, for the alley oop, and we missed him and
Right,
Sims.
A
and
lot.
especially
A
Sims
lot.
too.
Yeah. Shout out to the chat. Angel Torres. Actually, let me bring it up here. Actually, Queen, same thing here about Mitch. He plays a game with 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and the
Yep.
next game 3 points, 2 rebounds, and no.
Right. Yeah,
No
he
I don't know
needs
about
some
blocks.
that, but I
like
would
he
like
like
7 points.
Mitch.
He's
That's what
right, 7.6 rebounds and no
right.
block after.
That's what
Right.
kills me about Mitch. Like he'll look like Rudy Gobert one night, and then the next night he JaVale McGee.
Right.
Yeah, the
Like it's a fine line
inconsistency.
between that all the time. Like it's like a seesaw. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I said
agree.
it. Mitch is like when you break up with your ex. Did you? I've seen enough. It's over. Then he dropped that 1915. You be like,
looking
well,
good.
maybe things could be a little different now. And then you be
Right?
like, oh, same old thing. So
Mm.
I don't know. I think for me, if Mitch would have, I've seen, and I'm interested in your point on this. I've seen just marginal improvement from Mitch from season to season. I haven't seen big improvement. Like this was his fourth. He's going into his fifth
Right.
year.
Other than not picking up fouls, not being in foul
Right.
trouble,
Right.
he has not really improved that much in 4 years with his game. But I don't know, it's just like he's so athletic and you see the flashes, like you said, you just hope that, it just clicks one day.
And if it does,
If it does,
he
he'll
could
be a
change the
problem.
game on the
Right.
defensive end.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
yes, Staffer.
So, Gerald, let me ask you this. Do you
Hmm.
see if he goes to another team, do you see the team giving him some offensive plays than Tom Thibodeau?
Plays, no.
Depending,
I don't think plays, not specific plays, but I think he can score more depending on who's running the offense, though. Like I really do think like they pigeonhole Mitch a lot on this team.
I agree.
Wow.
I don't think
I
that's his
agree with
fault.
that.
I think somebody could get him the ball way better than us.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt
And
about it. But I don't see Mitch as somebody you're gonna throw the ball to
Yeah,
and
just
he's
throw it
gonna
to him and
get
let
you a
go.
back.
Nah.
right, and get a post move right, and
Yeah, I don't see
that's
that.
why that's the only reason why I think he mightn't sign with us because we hardly look for him. We hardly, what I
Right.
mean, give him a offensive chance, and I really think that in that case he might leave. Because you got Detroit clamoring down,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, Dallas clamoring down, Charlotte needs a center.
They got
You
all
got
guards that can
LaMelo
get the ball
Ball over
too.
there.
Yeah.
Yo, so
But
the
but this is the
that's
difference though. LaMelo Ball is still going to be alley oops and things like that. And if we
Yeah.
get a
True.
point guard, that can happen. But in
True.
terms of like kind of what I'm hearing is the Knicks are holding him back offensively. Yes,
Yeah.
in
That's
terms of
yeah.
not seeing him for
I see what you
lobs,
mean.
they're holding him back offensively. But I don't think they're holding him back from like not calling a play for him. I just don't think he has that skill
Yeah.
set. Or let's put him in the post and let him do a drop step or
Right.
drop. I just don't think he has
Because
that skill set.
at this point, if he get the ball right, he been in the league 4 years. If I want to shoot it, I'm shooting it. Like he has that type of stain in the league now that he can shoot if he want to. Tom Thibodeau is not going to take him out if he shot the ball. I don't see that. He just don't want to.
Go ahead, Stafford. Stafford think we got a
No,
little
no,
mini
no,
Kareem on this team. Go ahead, Stafford.
no, no. The only reason why I say that because if can correct me if I'm wrong, right? Didn't in one of the games, I don't know which specific team, but didn't Tom run a play for him off a timeout and he made that play?
I
Do
don't
y'all
remember.
remember that,
I don't
or
remember
I'm just
that.
bugging?
I don't remember that. I'm not saying it don't happen. It didn't happen, but I really don't remember that. To be honest.
I don't. Because listen, when he gets the offensive rebounds, now he's great. Like you could tell he's bulked up. He's got stronger.
Hmm.
I mean, he's gone up like Shaq, just you know, dunking the ball. But there's other times where he'll get it a little like 2 or 3 feet from where you can't really go back up and dunk it, but a little drop step, a little turnaround jumper, anything in that key. I don't think Tibbs is saying if you shoot this ball, you coming out.
You,
I
you
just, I just,
you know why? You know why he hasn't said that? Because Sims actually do it.
hmm
Sims actually do it more than Mitch do when he get the ball with the offensive rebound. He try to put it back up more than Mitch does at this point for some reason. I don't know why Mitch doesn't want to shoot. Well, not shoot, put it up. He's not even
Right.
shooting. Like he's not aggressive. He doesn't even look for it.
I mean, I think he will dunk it off the offensive rebound if he's close enough. But if he's a little further out,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a wrap.
he's gonna pass it.
he's gonna pass it. And Sims, I've seen a little bit in Sims, but I think Sims don't even give himself a chance a lot of times. He just soon as he get it, he passing it out.
Right.
I don't
Sometimes,
know if
yeah.
it's because he's a poor free throw shooter. He's only shooting 41% from the. I mean, the
Yeah.
Knicks, these free throw shooters on this team terrible, and our field
Terrible.
goal percentage this year has been terrible as well.
Yeah, you can't really stop that. Like Sims has always been a bad. That's not going to change. I don't
Yeah.
think. Even in college, he spent 4 years in college. It was all bad when it comes to shooting. That's not
Yeah.
going to change at all. Like you can't develop that late. Like it's over for him when
And
it comes to
and
that.
yeah, we talked about that yesterday as well.
Hmm.
The poor free throw shooting gives you an indication a lot of times of the touch the player has,
Right.
or in this case, doesn't have.
Hmm.
Sim shot 52% thereabout for most of his career in college. Mitch has been what, 50%. So
Yeah.
do you really think Mitch gonna develop a jump shot?
Mm-mm.
You know, and I've seen, I've
Not a
seen,
consistent one. No.
I've seen his Twitter, with him taking 3 pointers and things of that. And he doesn't look bad at all.
Right.
Mm. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Is there a team that's gonna allow him to do these things? Right. So, and that's the big question. And I know he's feeling slighted that he probably don't get those opportunities. So that's why I have a strong feeling, man.
I think
He ain't gonna sign. He ain't gonna sign with the Knicks.
it
Even his
seems like
uncle
though, like
crying.
to me, it seemed like if Tibbs know he was working on that though, seemed like he would allow. Not I hate to use the word allow because if I'm out there playing, if I want to shoot the ball, I'm shooting. That's just me. But like, it seemed like if Tibbs would have known that he's been working on that, just a corner three, he will allow him to shoot corner threes. Taj shoot corner threes.
He does.
Taj didn't do that before. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's shooting corner threes.
Noel in his
Noel shot three. Yeah, you're
in
right.
his in
Noel
his
was
in
shooting
his what,
threes.
12 games or
Right. Like
25
he shot like
games.
three threes in them 12 games. So I'm like, if
Right.
Mitch was working on that, or at least they know he was working on that, or if he relayed that message, it's kind of weird. Somebody's lying.
Right. Right. Let me post this comment before we move on about Mitch. I'm not sure about this. Shout out to Sherwin M. Mitch is a more complete defender than Gobert. He is a rim protector, rebounder. Mitch is the most complete defender at the center position.
Ooh,
Nah,
showing M.
them defensive
Mm,
player of the year awards would disagree with that. That's I don't know.
mm.
That's almost disrespectful to Gobert to me. Like he's a
Right, like
four-time
when you
defensive player of the year.
yeah, like when you say more complete, what it like I don't see Mitch out on the perimeter, not like Sims guarding
Right.
Right.
the
Mitch
wing
used to do
players.
that
So
more though.
he used to do it
He
more.
used to do that more, but he doesn't do that as much.
So
Ever
I
since he
guess
got
my
bigger, he
interest
doesn't.
yeah, my follow-up question would be, what do you mean by more complete? They're both rim protectors, they both
Right.
rebound.
That's the key
And let me
word
tell
right
you,
there. More complete.
Gobert is a better rebound. Mitch is averaging
Yeah.
8 rebounds. I can't
Yeah,
eight
he's not a good
rebounds.
rebounder.
And that and again, last year was the same. Eight
Right.
rebounds, and a
Hmm.
lot of those are offensive rebounds. And I'm not hating on the offensive rebounds. We need them. We need them second chance points, and that's a way for Mitch to get involved in the offense. I get it. 8 rebounds though, like when I think about star potential, elite potential on the defensive end, I'm talking about 12, 14,
Right.
15 um, rebounds. It doesn't have to be a game, but
Man, we was talking about Ben Wallace earlier. Can you imagine if Ben Wallace only averaged 8 rebounds?
right.
He wouldn't be the same. He wouldn't be Ben Wallace. Like that is part of who he is. Like Mitch has to average at least 12
Yeah.
if he's not going to,
I mean, he's on a team with Randall, who's a strong rebounder, but I've seen games in which Mitch,
was all over the place.
yeah,
It had like 18 rebounds, but then, the
yeah,
next game he'll have 3 for some reason.
yeah. I mean, I see Mitch as a starter in this league. I wouldn't be surprised if he put it all together, but he's going into his 5th year. I would have liked to see a little bit more by now to feel more comfortable saying he's going to be a star. But I definitely think he will be a starter in this league. And remember, the league is going towards centers that can score. So if you're going to be just a defensive center, you got to be pretty good at what you do. And I think he is. I think he is. And I see the potential Stafford Don is talking about. I just feel like it's not there. We got somebody in the chat made a good point. That's the issues with young players. They aren't consistent. But is Mitch still considered a young player? We going by age or years in the league?
Right.
I think he's still pretty young. I mean, you don't hit your prime until probably 27. So I think he's still got time. But the only thing I would say with Mitch again, he needs to work on his free throws. That
Mm-hmm.
is the main thing with me with him. He could make his free throws, he will be in on the floor at the end of games.
Mm,
And
yeah,
I believe so. So if he could hit his free throws, then I could say, okay, the potential is going up more
right.
and more and more to that potential star. So you don't hit your free throws. I mean, Ben Wallace, yes, but it, it's it's
If you
it's
don't
it's
hit your free
dicey.
throws, you got to be on another level with the other things that you do.
Right. Because even though Ben wasn't hitting his free throws, nobody was coming to in that paint like that.
Right.
Right.
He was blocking them.
Right.
So he get that other defensive blocking mentality and having like 8, 10 blocks a game. Oh my goodness, it's over.
Right. Right. Right.
He might get paid more than Rudy, and Rudy getting what 200 mil, something like
Yeah, I
that.
bet you they regretting that now, though.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not paying Rudy Gobert 40
do you
million.
think
No
Robert
way.
Williams is better than him?
I do
The Celtics. Oh, okay.
because he's just. You know what? I can't say I haven't watched him game in and game out the way I've watched Mitch game in and game out. But
Right.
the games in which I've saw, he just seems to me to be a bit more active.
Mm-hmm.
And he's smaller than Mitch, so he could play probably a little better on the perimeter than Mitch. But when I think about Robin Williams, that's who I think about for Mitch. To me they're comparable, even though Mitch is much taller. That's the other thing. Mitch is
Right.
much taller.
Hmm.
You know, but that's a good comparison, contract wise as well. Robin Williams got,
Yeah.
I think, 4 years, 54 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that should be like if when Mitch, his agent is going to ask for that, if
Yeah.
not more.
But to be honest, I'm not mad at that. I'm not.
I'm never mad at the player wanting to get more money.
12 million.
That
I
ain't
mean,
up to
that's
me.
not, I don't even think that's a lot, right? 12 million is 48, 13 million is 52.
Hmm.
That's not really a lot of money in this landscape of players. So, I mean, if he gets 12 million, 13 million, the Knicks, from what I understand, they weren't even close to the
Mm.
54 million, which is 13, like 13 and a half. So what were they offering?
I was about to say that shows you Mitch value right there. So we'll see once this off season comes or get
Yeah.
started, I should say.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Tony said he's gonna be late. So he missed Mitch. We might double back.
Yeah, we might double back on Mitch.
Y'all want to do Obi or Randall next?
Uh,
Ooh, it
hmm.
Ooh.
doesn't
Oh,
matter because both of them gonna be juicy. Because Parrish Duggar and Mr. Show and M. Oh my goodness,
they about to
it's
go
gonna be
at
a
it.
boxing
They
match.
about to fight
Yes,
in the chat.
yes,
Keep it
yes.
keep it civil, family.
I know, man.
All right. Or I mean, we could go Reddish, IQ, and we could say those for
Look,
last. It
Queen,
don't matter.
you the head. You
All right.
position how you want to
All right. Let,
position.
let, let's
Yeah.
save them for a little later. Let's
All
go
right.
Reddish. Let's go Reddish.
Ooh. Ceiling?
Ceiling.
See, that's the person I would upgrade
Okay.
for ceiling.
Okay. That's
Like
what we talking
I
about.
think
Ceiling.
I
Yeah.
think Cam can be a star if we're just talking about ceiling what he can be.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
has to put it together. Starter for sure. He just need to get a chance, to get minutes and get his act together when it comes to playing hard every day and effort. Once you get that down, then Cam can be whatever he want to be to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Queen, I gotta go back to last night's show. If he enters as a starter, will he have his opportunity to pop? Right? Because you have RJ, you have Randall, and you have Fournier as a third option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he could potentially be the fourth option. Right? Now, if he can beat out Fournier and still be able to create his game, be himself, and it takes a turn, yes, I see potential in there for him on the New York Knicks. But he said he's a star in his mind, right? I don't know. The jury, for me, the jury is still out on him. I mean, I seen flashes of potential 1 or 2 games when he was in Atlanta. He put up like over 30 points, I think like 2 straight times or something like that.
And don't
And
forget
then
how
when
he
he,
played against us in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
I think he was
right,
coming off an injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
yeah, he was coming off the bench. He played great defense, and he hit a couple threes. So I need to see Tom Thibodeau play him some more. If he could probably stagger his minutes for where he comes into the second unit, and him, OBIQ, Burks, and probably Sims or Noel could I think he could potentially take over that second unit, right? But you
Definitely.
know, I
But what
don't
about
know.
long term? Like next year, I get it. You need to see more. But
Yeah.
have you seen enough to say long term what you think he would
It,
be, what his ceiling is?
it's inconsistent to me because
Yeah,
since in college he's been inconsistent. The particular time when Zion went out, it was all RJ. I didn't see him
That's true.
nowhere. It's normally him and the point guard they had. right,
Hmm.
was doing their thing. So it's I don't know, man. I don't know. I need to see him play at least 15 to 20 minutes a night for me to say, well, all right. He has. I mean, he has defensive skills. He has a wide, long uh, wingspan. He could hit those threes. So, yeah, Cam is still out on the jury for me, man. But I think I don't know. It's hard for me on that one, to honestly, because I really don't know. From seeing him in college and a few times in Atlanta and one or two games with the Knicks, I don't know what he brings. I know he's a good defensive person, and he could hit threes, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, before I bring Sim in, let me just say this real quick. I think he has the potential to be a star, but it's so much he has to put together. And Jarrell gave me pause last week when he talked about how through high school, the big issue with him is what I got from it is being somewhat laid back, not
Hmm.
really going
Motivated,
after it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
not
just his
necessarily
personality.
motivated, but there's some guys that just play within the system, don't step out of it, don't really show what they can do. That was RJ before something clicked
Right.
last season and he started to be much more aggressive. If something clicks in Cam, I think he has all the tools to be a star in this league. But if it doesn't, he could be a bench. Like he's one of those, in my opinion, high ceiling,
Very low
low
floor.
floor
Right.
type guys. Like if he doesn't put it together, they're not gonna just start him because he's long and linky. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're gonna start him
right?
because he got some game. So he can be high and he can go low. Let me bring in Sam. Sam, how you doing? What you think?
Good.
We talking about
Uh,
um
yeah,
Reddish, star superstar, which we got in one category, um, uh, high end, low end starter, or bench role player. What's your thoughts on
oh my
Cam?
goodness, man, it's so tough. I think I agree. I think he has the potential to be the star. He has all the tools, everything.
Yeah,
I think he has everything that you can ask for in the makings of a star. But does he have the wherewithal to get there?
Right.
right.
You know what I mean? Does he have what's inside the chest to get there? I think that's the
There you go.
question. He's got everything else. You know what I mean? He's probably the most talented player on the team.
No
He,
doubt about
I
it.
think he is. It's not
You know what I'm
probably.
saying? Yeah, I mean, you know, but can he get there? That's the question. That's the question. It's more than just talent that makes up being a star. You got to have. There's a lot more that you got to have. Um, can he bring it out? You know, that's that's the tough thing. That's the tough thing to find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's not even. And he also has the basketball IQ. I think
yeah.
just
Hmm.
from the time that I've seen him play.
Hmm.
He understands where to go. He understands when to cut,
Hmm.
when to flash for the ball, who to pass it to. He understands his defensive rotations. Like he gets all of that. So I think his
Hmm.
basketball IQ is there. I actually look at him and say the game seems to come just like super easy to him.
Right.
And I don't know if that throughout his lifetime, throughout his career, has held him back or helped him.
He's even played point guard a little bit.
Man.
Yeah.
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 So, because, sometimes if something comes real easy to somebody, then maybe they don't put it in the same amount of effort. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then that becomes your habit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, this is easy.
Right.
I could do this. I had a player one time that was so much better than the rest of the players. He would run 70% and still beat everybody in suicides, right? Be first.
Mm.
Wow.
And I had his name was CJ. I have to tell him, CJ, you're not racing against them. So I can tell you're only going 75%. I don't care if you have to lap them. You know what I'm saying? You got to get the best out of yourself.
Right.
That's how you're going to reach any goals that wherever you want to go. He was the type of guy, though. He was cool with me, but when he went to other teams, high school and stuff like that, he didn't like having to, break down and do the little skill drills because he felt like he already had those skills and he
Mm,
had them. But if you're gonna go to another level,
right.
you got to continue to work on that craft. And the kid was an amazing athlete. He had this naturally cut body that he didn't lift weights or anything like that. It was just there. He'd do 1,000,000 push-ups at one time. I mean, the kid was he was
Wow.
about 6'2", 6'3", could jump out the building, amazing athlete, but he ended up just playing, men's leagues around in the DC metro area because he didn't have the discipline or didn't want to accept the discipline to do the other things that it took to get there. But it's because everything came so easy to him, he thought he was above and beyond those other things that people had to work on.
Yeah. I'm hoping, being around. I don't know about his work ethic, but I'm just hoping like being around RJ and Quickly and Obi makes him whatever he's doing, make him want to take it up a notch. Because if he pops, he changes everything for the Knicks. He
Yeah.
changes everything for the Knicks.
Everything.
Yep.
He has a higher ceiling. We haven't got to him, but in my opinion, he has a higher ceiling than RJ
Well, to me, he has the highest ceiling on the team.
on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. We can't really argue. Shout out to the chat, Rayology, King Ribbon, RM, Paris Duggar, D Public Enemy, Ally Wise, Paris Duggar, and Sherwin M. Shout out. They was about to go at it. We didn't get to Obi. We we said we'll move that. Yeah, we'll move that down. All right. So Reddish, I mean, the juicy ones is left. I mean, we could take our pick. Obi, Mitch, IQ, and Barrett. Let's do IQ. Let's do IQ. What's IQ's ceiling?
That's tough, man.
It is, right? I think IQ is always going to be a popular player. I don't know if that's not really a star, but I think he's going to be a popular player. I think people are going to like him. He's just going to be popular. I think. I don't know if he's going to be a star, all-star type player.
Do you even think he'll be a starter? Or do you see him as like a low-end starter, bench type player?
I think he can be a starter. But I think he's going to be like at some point somewhere, maybe he gets that chance to be the starter. And so for a couple of years, he's the starter. And then that's going to say, is he going to make it as a starter or not? Right. And so I think he's going to get to that point. Some people never get to that point. This guy's a bench player. Right. But then I think like Lou Williams got to a point where people are like, okay, is he a starter? Can he start? Can he be that guy? And then people kind of figured out he's best as a 6-man role. Right. I think he probably gets to that point where someone gives him the shot to see if he can be a starter, a full-time starter on the team. And then, they got to figure out where it goes from there.
Yeah. Stafford?
Boy, so one thing, I think I see a one all-star in his tenure. At least one.
All right.
I give him at least one.
His team got to be really good.
Yeah, B.J. Armstrong got one.
Yeah.
Charles Oakley got one
because the Bulls was nasty that year.
Yep.
Right.
Oakley got one when the Knicks were really, really good. I think the Knicks had like 4 All-Stars, something like that, 3 or 4 All-Stars, and Oakley was one of them. So.
Yeah, I see a one All-Star in his career, but yeah, I have to go with a starter, a potential starter. Some team may give him that chance for real, and he probably might excel in that position. So but at the same time, he could be a 6-man, come off the bench, bring energy, bring that spark, that every team needs once in a while, and just start hitting threes and going crazy, So microwave player, on and off sometimes, not really consistent, not really making good decisions at times, So once he develops that also too, the right decisions and going to the basket a little more, I think probably a little seasoning, a little more, a year or two on the bench, and I think he could be a star, but not a star.
I wouldn't bet. He
It's
has
hard to
about.
bet
He
against
could be a
IQ, man.
star. I mean, the chances kind of like
I agree with
this.
Steph. Like
Because he
I
just
agree with Sim.
just because
A favorite player.
just
he
because
has
of what he's made up of, like it's hard for me to
bet against
bet
him.
against him.
He
get
got
it.
that dog. But let me
Right.
ask this question: can you become a star and not show early signs?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then,
So.
so then,
Yeah, you
I think
can.
so. See, I think he's going to end up having the same kind of like Jamal Crawford. Not that he plays like Jamal Crawford, right? But I think like
Okay.
everybody likes Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford was popular. Never really became the star that people thought he was going to become.
right,
Right.
You know, but he was really, really popular. He started on some teams and then he
Right.
became a guy that came off the bench. I think he's going to have that kind of career.
Well,
Okay.
if he does, that would be
You know?
be.
And that's still, I think, a really
I'm about
good
to say that's
career.
good for him.
Yeah, that's a really
Yeah,
good
it
career.
it is really good. But there's just something about this kid. I am gonna call him a
Yeah.
kid. There's something about Quickly.
Yep.
Um,
I think he wants more than that for himself.
Okay, I hope so. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah, I
think
hope
he
so
has a hit
too.
factor.
Like
yeah, he
remember when
has
he first
that. He has that it factor. He works.
remember when he first came in the league, he said he was trying to pattern his game after like Lou Williams.
Mm-hmm.
It
He
ain't that no
did.
more. I don't think it's that no more. I think he's thinking higher than that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he been watching Curry. But the thing about it, I don't see him becoming a star as a point guard though.
Oh.
And so then where would he
Yeah, that
become a
changes
star
everything, Steph.
at?
What you mean? So that
You
means he's
know,
gonna be like a star two guard being that
right. And
small?
then he doesn't have the
Nah.
yeah, that's true.
That case,
Yeah.
he turned into Monte Ellis real quick.
No, Quickly might kind of define his own. Somewhere along the line, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that guy's like Immanuel Quickley." He might be kind of defining his own role in the NBA. I mean, he's got that it factor, so that's why I say he's always going to be popular. I think
Right,
anywhere he
right.
goes is going to be popular. As far as like commercials and things like that, people are going to love him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because of
Right.
his, just his character and who he is. So I
Right,
think he's
right.
always going to have that kind of fanfare.
That's
Yeah.
that's actually one aspect we didn't really talk about. I think we was
that?
just really talking about basketball wise, the star stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that Simmons talked about that matters also. We
Yeah.
really didn't bring up that until that's a good point because being a star you have to have. I guess you don't have to have the personality of a star because Kawhi Leonard is a star.
Right.
But for the most part, yeah, you got to have some type of star potential when it comes to your personality. Also,
Yeah,
As well.
got to be marketable.
Yeah,
marketable.
he
Yeah,
is that too.
He
He
is
is that
marketable.
too.
Yeah.
Just the way how he speak. He comes out a little swag on the post game with shades on, So
Yep.
I,
Yep. He had shades on.
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Ain't the
So
season. Ain't going to the playoffs. You got shades on.
Yeah. I mean, he does stuff. You see him cross someone up, come to the bench, and put
Yep.
his hand down low to the
Mhm.
ground, like
Flex on him
like
a little bit.
stuff.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
an and one, start flexing. You ain't
Right.
that big, but you flexing.
Right.
I actually like that though. Like that's I
yeah, I
actually
like his
that.
demeanor. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
why.
I
That's
think
why I said he might have a 1-star all
Yeah, he
star
got a little
he
sauce to
might,
him.
but I think the position is the issue. If he was taller, playing an off guard position, he might have a better chance. Because think about him at a point guard position. He got to get that decision making together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
that's
got to
true.
get that shot selection together.
Yeah,
So
he
to be a
does.
star at the point guard position, that's a lot of responsibility. That's
But let me
skill
ask you this,
plus
Queen.
leadership plus a lot of other things. Yeah.
In the All Star game now, do they go by positionless basketball now, or they still pick
It's guards.
about just guards, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Guards,
So
forwards. I don't even think they do.
yeah,
Do they do centers anymore? Or is
I
it
don't
just
think they
guards,
do. I
forwards?
think it's just guards and forwards. I don't think
Guards
they-
and bigs, I think.
Yeah,
Something like
something
that.
yeah. So he gonna still have a chance, Queen. Don't have to be at the necessarily point guard spot to be an All
Oh
Star.
no, to be.
But
I'm talking about a star, Not just an
star.
all-star.
Okay.
I'm talking about a
Okay.
star.
Yeah,
Okay.
star.
Okay.
But
Okay.
to
Okay.
be an
Okay.
all-star, you're right. Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
He might
Okay.
will have to stay in New York.
To be to be an all-star,
No, to be a star. Just for the
really?
stuff that Sim was talking about, like with the personality and his marketability and stuff. Like, say we trade him to Utah. I don't see him being a star in Utah. You?
That's true.
Donovan Mitchell is barely a star in Utah. Don't nobody talk about
Yo.
don't nobody talk about him off the court
Right. That's true.
because he's in
Yeah.
Utah.
No,
Right.
and the funny thing, I don't see no commercials with him either.
They in
None.
Utah. They the local joints that you see.
Yeah.
Like if you actually watch,
Yeah.
like I've seen them.
No
Like you,
commercial
because
with
you, if you have like League Pass or something, you know how you'll see their channel.
Right.
He's in commercials
Yeah.
just like we got Julius Randle in ours.
Okay. Okay.
Like
Okay.
Julius
Okay.
Randle's ain't in
Okay.
theirs. Like they don't think
Right.
he a
Right.
star.
except for
Probably.
maybe Vroom. He got, I think, don't Julius Randle got a Vroom commercial or something like that?
I
Yeah,
think
he
so.
does.
That
I
might be
think
I
so.
think
national,
so.
but
That might be national. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So
Yeah.
we
Car
basically
dealership commercials. That's what radiology said. Car dealership commercials. Yeah.
Right.
right.
Local
Them the
car.
local joints, man. Them the Mike Piazzas.
So basically we got started. Anybody think he'll be a bench role player?
No, not going forward. Not like in the future. Not his ceiling. No.
I think that's probably his floor.
Floor.
Right. That would be his
Right.
floor, not his
That'll be
ceiling.
his floor.
Yeah. 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 But yeah, so that's a good point too. Is he in that reddish, with this high ceiling, low floor type
See,
play?
I
I
don't want
think
to
his
put him in
floor. I
that
think his
though.
floor is pretty solid, though.
I think so too. I think his floor
His
is
floor
pretty
is pretty
solid.
solid. Yeah.
You
I
know,
think.
I think one thing that really bodes well for him, I think I seen someone put it in the chat. He really does know how to get to the line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's crafty.
he's crafty and he can knock down the free throws, and that really does go a long way because if anything, even if he's shooting bad, he can get to the line. So that's always going to keep him at some point averaging 15 points a game at least.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think, right?
And,
Because
Right.
he's not
and
gonna-
you notice too, he's always in the end of games because he could shoot his free throws.
Right.
So that's
I thought you was gonna
that's
say
a
because
very
he can
good point
shoot.
right
Because
there.
we overlooked that 39% he's shooting.
we do.
No, well, I know he
Yeah.
could shoot. I know he could shoot, but as far as his free throws and staying on the floor,
Right.
I think that goes a long way also.
And being able to get to the line and the
get
way
to the
you go
line.
into the game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
and I mean, the thing with him too is like when the Knicks, when things are going bad and no one can hit a shot. I feel like Immanuel Quickley can be the guy that's going to break that string or
Right.
or
Yeah.
people not hitting shots, right?
He's
Because
the one that'll keep shooting.
yeah,
That too.
I mean, that's why.
Right.
He's the one that's going to keep shooting. He's not going to stop shooting.
no, he's gonna let it go. Like he's the one that I feel like okay, he can get a shot off or find a way to get some kind of shot or get to the line. So I do feel confident with that. When he has the ball in his hands.
Right. I think his ceiling, like when we talked about Grimes, his ceiling depends on his ball handling, his ability to put the ball on the floor, get to the rim. That's going to elevate his ceiling.
Mhm.
For Quickley, I think what elevates his ceiling is his thinking process, his ability to control the game. That would elevate his ceiling a lot. Him improving his shooting, I don't think elevates his shoot. He foul shooting, like none of that. I don't
He gonna
think
shoot
elevates
regardless.
his ceiling.
Right.
But if he becomes more cerebral, good decision making, learning how to manage a team in addition to getting to the free throw line and those sorts of things, that elevates his ceiling a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. How do you, that happens with just game time. I mean, how do you get better at decision making other than being in those, in those situations? Yeah. Anything else on IQ before we move to I'm gonna say Barrett for last. Before we
He did say he does watch a lot of film now to make better decisions, right? So I think by him doing that and saying that, he's only going to get better in the future.
No doubt about it.
Word.
No doubt. I expect him to take a big leap. next season in terms of his decision making and putting it all together. All right, let's do Obi first, then we'll do Mitch. I mean, not Mitch. We did Mitch. We'll do Randall. Um, what's Obi ceiling?
I don't know. I don't want to.
I'm gonna say starter. That's the ceiling for me.
Not star
Mm-mm,
with his athleticism.
mm-mm.
Wow.
It's not about. I'm just not impressed by athleticism. I'm
Other
just not.
people are though. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of like star being a star. You know what I mean? That means a lot of different things sometimes. But you know,
But this is what I mean when I say star. Star slash superstar, because it's just degrees.
right.
Um, Lillard, Durant, Embiid, the
See,
Joker, Giannis.
yeah.
You want to
See,
put Kawhi in there, Paul George,
yeah. Never
Tatum in
mind.
terms of star
Never
players.
mind. You good?
That's
You
what
ain't got
I'm.
to keep
That's what
naming.
I'm. That's more than
You good?
athleticism, and some of them guys
Yeah,
are athletic.
you're right.
Look at Giannis, but the skill level, when they get it done, all of that goes into being a star. So I think Obi can his ceiling. I think he can be a starter in this league. I don't see a star in Obi.
I definitely see starter, especially if we use him correctly. Um, Star though, I know I said with the athleticism and stuff, but no, I probably don't see him as a star or a superstar. Maybe because his defense, not his offense. But yeah, I don't
Kyrie
see
don't
him
play
as a.
defense either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see him like remember like we was talking about Mitch. Like since he's so bad on offense, he has to be like all world on defense. Obi
Right.
will have to be all world on offense, and I don't see that in order for him to be a star. So I'm gonna just his ceiling would be starter. Maybe not a low level starter though. He might be a good starter,
Yeah.
especially if he get his rebounds up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what kind of stats make you a good starter?
A good
Uh,
starter.
Yeah.
Powerful. I guess it depends on the other people on the team, like what they doing too. But if Obi can give me 30 something minutes to give me like
Oh,
16 points.
I thought you said 30 points.
Oh no, not points. No, not points. Minutes. Like in 30 something minutes, if he can average 16, it's a starter. That would be fine with me.
Right.
It just depends on the other team and how the team and the roster and stuff like
Right.
that.
D
So it's
Public
hard to say
kidding me?
stats.
Because it's more than that. Obi played like 8 minutes a game, and MSG always yelling for Obi. How you don't see him as a star? Because I think being a star is more than the fans yelling.
Yeah,
Right.
it does.
Yelling your name. But Sim, to
And,
your point, the question you just asked. Oh, you wanted to say
uh,
something else?
and I was just gonna say that's where sometimes it's hard to differentiate what a star is.
Mm,
What a star is. Is a star someone who's popular
Right.
and the
Has to have
fans love you
everything.
and they're gonna buy your merchandise and they're chanting for you, or does the production make you a star?
well,
Right.
that's a good point.
You
That's a good
know,
point. If it's the fans yelling for you, yeah, Obi can be a star. I can
Here.
see the fans getting excited with his dunks and
Right.
and and what have you. So if that's the bar, absolutely, I think he can be a star. I'm thinking, I'm thinking production.
Yeah, not with the
right.
players that you named earlier.
Yeah, I'm
No,
thinking production
it's
also
not
too.
the
He could be
same.
a dunker star.
Dunker star.
He could be a dunker star, but it's Obi. I don't see as a star. He
Let's just
still
say this. I
has
hope
some
he is.
major stuff he has to work on for me to tell him he's a star. So let's say he goes into the season, he develops a mid-range shot, he develop a go-to move, put the ball on the floor, and he's hitting from the three, right? 3-point level score. So he start doing those things and playing better defense, then I could say, all right, we could go as a star. But for right now, it's potential starter bench player. That's my opinion.
And to Sim's earlier question, when we talk about bench players, you can have high level starters and low level
Mm-hmm.
Starters, like those starters that are starting for a particular reason, because they're 3-and-D guys, because somebody got injured. They're about two steps from being a bench player. you know. I don't know if I see him as a low end starter. I mean, if he doesn't develop the rest of his game, I don't really see him starting at all. I'm
Oh
saying
yeah,
that if he
that
does develop the rest of his game, I think he can be a starter in this league. What's your thoughts, on Obi?
I think I do think he can be a starter in the league. And then I think he's going to end up being a guy that's like um, basically a one-way starter, right? So you got him out there because he can provide offense and electricity and can run the fast break and stuff like that. But you might have to cover up for him on the defensive side. I think that may end up being who Obi is, and because of that, it stops him from being really a star. Like he may have some, or being a star as far as the production on the court is concerned. But he may have some star power because he's popular and
Right.
stuff
mm,
like that. You know what I mean? But I think that's gonna hold him back. I mean, I don't think he reaches the level of Amari Stoudemire, but I think he ends up being like Amari Stoudemire, right?
Right.
Uh, I don't see he won't reach that level. I think Amari was just more ferocious and mean and had a mean streak in him, and I don't think Obi has that at all. It would
Right.
help him out so much if he did, but I
He's a
just don't think
Mr.
he has.
Nice Guy.
Right.
Right.
But
Right.
Amari ended up being a star in the league, you know, purely off of athleticism.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And because he had that ferociousness, like he just go to, he'd catch either the oop or off the screen and roll from Steve Nash and
Yep.
dunk on you really, really hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? And and he could really barely do anything in the post. He wasn't a good defender. Really didn't have too much of a jump shot. He got set up by Steve Nash for everything until a
For
little bit
everything.
later in
See,
his career.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
see.
Right.
So would that
yeah.
change the star answer if he had Steve Nash?
It might.
So it's
He had
predicated on the point guard.
Yeah,
he might.
potential. Yeah, it all depends on the point guard. I was
Right.
thinking the same thing, Sim, when you mentioned
Right.
Stoudemire with what's his name, Steve Nash, because that
Yep.
was a big part of that 1-2 punch,
And then
Yeah.
you
right?
had Stephon Marbury.
That pick and roll, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely have to agree with that one. If he does get a point guard, right, he could potentially be that. But at the same time, Amari still had a post up game. He still had a go to move.
And
You
later
know,
on, he developed a jump
I
shot
think
too, but that
Later
was later
on,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, I think later
right.
on he had
So
a better post up move later on, but early in his career,
Early
it
he
was
didn't have
pretty
that
much,
at all.
yeah,
No.
it was pretty much
Because
dunking
he
over.
yeah,
came
I
out of
think
high
that's
school.
before he was what we call a star, right?
Yeah,
He was just coming into himself before
yeah,
they claimed him as a star.
Right.
My
but he,
opinion.
he just has so much. He was just so ferocious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you seen some of the dunks that Stat did early in his career, oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
he
it
was
was
nuts.
just bad. And
Yeah,
some people
yeah,
that
it
got
was
dunked on, it was
stupid.
just really, really bad for
I
them.
still remember Stephon Marbury's face on one of
I
them.
remember that
Right.
because
Right.
Amari Stoudemire jumped so high,
Mm-hmm.
and Stephon just turned around, just made an ugly face because it was such a nasty dunk. I just don't know if Obi has that inside.
Right. Right. Because remember that
Right.
Obi, he don't dunk on people. Like he dunks in transition, and on backdoor cuts. Mari just went through people.
Yeah, strength. Yeah, strength has a
Okay.
He
lot to
just
do with
went
that.
through people like he
Amari was
wasn't
going
even
through
there.
people.
Right.
So let me
Yeah.
ask this question because Paris Douglas said Obi scores with ease. So when
In
I think
transition, he
of
does.
that, right,
Yeah,
that's what I was
it
about
just
to say.
depends
But to
on.
put the ball on the floor for him to score, that's not at ease.
I
You
mean, I
know,
don't think
so
his game is there yet. I mean, that's what I'm hoping develops over the summer. Him being able to put the ball on the floor, take it to the rim, create a basket for himself or others. He's not, I mean, listen, right now, in my opinion, Obi's game is pretty limited. he has to improve that over the summer. I know Rayology disagrees. He's gonna say something
I
really
was about to
soon.
say salute
Also,
to
also Paris Duggar too. Also Paris Duggar too.
nah,
Another
but
Obi lover.
nah,
So
but on the flip side, Sherwin obviously hates Obi.
we know that.
He
That
said
ain't
he
no
only,
He
he
question.
said
said
he's only
Obi was
6'7".
at 183 pounds. Obi a scat back out here, man. Yeah, but that's funny though. But yeah, I hope
Terrell, did you give your opinion on Obi?
Yeah, I think he's just a starter. I don't think he's a star. Like too many things has to be not handed to him, but given to him in order to be a star. Like he needs Steve Nash in order to be a star. Like if you're just gonna keep him, on a team like this one that doesn't have a very good point guard to give him the ball in open space, I don't see him being a all star or a star. Period.
Okay, all right.
And he has to have played better defense.
But
Can't be.
there's a lot of, in all fairness, though, aren't there a lot of one-way stars in this league?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true. But they dominant on the offensive
They are
end.
dominant on the offensive end, no doubt.
You have to be.
No doubt about it.
Dominant. Because that's what Amar Stoudemire was. He was
Right.
Yeah.
basically
Yes,
People-
he was.
He said
could
he didn't know
not
how to play defense. He
Oh,
said he never
Trey-
even practiced it.
right.
So yeah,
Trey Young is the next one too. A very talented offensive star, but when it
Right.
comes to that defensive end, it's no fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
None at
Amar
all.
Stoudemire's rotations were some of the worst that I ever seen. I was like, oh my goodness, why can't this guy just I gotta
Right.
help?
Right.
And he, he turned to help when the guy was at the basket. I'm like,
Yeah, he was terrible.
he
I
was-
don't even know if Obi is that bad.
Yeah,
but-
Obi ain't
I
even that
I don't
bad.
think he's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bad.
No,
Yeah.
he said I never practiced it.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't know how to play defense. He said it.
Yeah.
But what do you mean you never practice? I'm sure they go over defensive schemes in practice.
He said they did not do that. I remember that.
Oh, you mean with D'Antoni?
Yeah, with D'Antoni, he said they didn't practice that.
Yeah. But even in high school, they probably, he bounced around from a bunch of different schools like Florida,
Yeah, true.
Newburgh, up in Newburgh.
Mhm.
He bounced around from a bunch of different schools, almost similar to Obi, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right. So he went straight to the league. So
Yeah.
he didn't know how to play defense. Nobody taught him. And plus, remember, he went to Phoenix. They ain't played defense there either.
Right.
No.
He followed D'Antoni.
Yep.
And I remember we used to say if they could just play a little defense, this team would be,
Right.
even better because they
Right.
were pretty good.
Obi would have been nasty on that team. He would have been Sean Marion, though. Not Amari Stoudemire,
Right.
probably.
Yeah, remember Marion? Yeah,
Yep.
wow.
That's who Obi actually reminds me of a lot.
Well,
It's
Marion
not-
played defense though, did he?
I'm just talking about on offense.
Yeah.
Just offense.
On
Okay.
offense.
Yeah, on defense, yeah, he can play. He was playing multiple positions on defense. But on offense, I don't see Obi, it's just 3-pointers. If I don't shoot, I pump fake it and then go to the basket. That's it.
Right. Right. All right. Let's get to Randall. I know some people would rather we not even talk about Randall.
Bench. Low level. Bench. No, I'm just joking.
No, that's cool. That's cool. You're not the only one. You're not the only
No,
one.
I'm not gonna say his ceiling is bench. His ceiling is starter though. It's not star. No. That star left me with his attitude this season.
Do you think though, the way he played last season, do you think he would ever be able to, to me, that's his ceiling.
Right. I don't think he'd ever be better than that. So
But
the
will he
answer
reach
can't
it
be a star.
again?
Oh no.
You don't think so?
I don't think he'll reach it again.
Nah, the shooting. I don't think he'll
Yeah.
ever shoot that well
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. From three, I
Yeah, that's what I
maybe
mean.
from mid range.
Yeah, but from three
But
now.
from three, I don't think he'll ever shoot that well again from three. Until maybe when he's older, right? When he's like Taj Gibson's age, and then his mind and things slow down.
Everybody leave him alone. Where everybody leave him open.
then maybe he'll knock it down consistently. But I don't think he'll ever knock that down consistently. At 42%, no. Maybe he gets to 35%. I don't know.
Yeah, he's getting closer to that age when we're talking about peaks. Remember, Stafford said 27. And he about 26, 27 now?
Yeah, so you figure like 20. Yeah, he's 27, I think. So you figure between 27 or 28 and 32, somewhere around there is probably your peak time. So, he's probably reaching that prime time of his career.
Right.
I think he can make another all-star team. If he's on a team that's really good and he's giving you 19 and 10, I think he can make an all-star team.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that.
Right. Right. So his ceiling is pretty much starter. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't see him becoming an all NBA type player.
No.
Yeah. Not consistently. You know what I mean?
Right.
He may have like, a year where he gets close to it. You know what I mean? And then the next, he may be that guy that jumps around a little bit. Sometimes sometimes no. Probably consistently giving you 19 and 10.
Right.
But it's just, how is he giving it to you?
Right. But what's the bad part about it? He's one of the most talented players on our team.
Yeah.
He is one of the most talented players on our team. And what's keeping him from becoming a star? His shooting, which has to get better, and just him getting wrapped up in other things instead of staying focused. He's a talented guy.
I think the way he plays is not going to make him a star either, though. Like, he's a power forward, and we're talking about like his shooting has to be better. Like, that's weird to me. I guess I'm old. I never.
But he's an undersized power forward though. He's 6'8".
Kind of a tweener, right?
Yeah, he's kind of like a tweener, and it's hard for him to finish at the basket because he doesn't have that leaping ability. It's not like he's a 6'10" bruiser. He's not even that thick, really. I mean, he's strong. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. He definitely is strong, but he doesn't have like. I wonder what his wingspan is. Doesn't look to be that long.
Great. Yeah, I don't.
It's not that long.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the height. So
he pretty much plays like a 2-guard though. What's the difference between him?
Well, I think he plays more like
I think he plays more in the post than the 2-guard though.
Yeah. The post, like the mid range, the mid range area, like the elbow. Extended a little bit, more
crossover
like
fade. Yeah. He still plays like a 2-guard though.
Yeah, I think with Randle, what was preventing him from ever, in my opinion, having a consistent jump shot is he doesn't have a lot of touch. Like Obi, I feel like he can have a consistent jump shot because he has a lot of touch. I don't think Randle has a lot of touch.
Right.
And I don't know if you can actually if you can practice that or get that. I don't know.
You see them passes him? There's no touch on the passes.
I know.
Right in the temple. Just break somebody's nose, man.
It's like, what in the world? You're 2 feet away. Why you
right?
So I don't know if he'll ever have that kind of touch. And I think as far as him shooting, that's one of the reasons why I don't think he's ever going to be a consistently good shooter. He just doesn't have that kind of touch. Even around the rim, he doesn't have that kind of touch.
No. I think he's in the 16th percentile for his position at the rim.
Yeah,
he shot 60%. I'm like, oh, that's good. Then when you look at everybody else at his position, that's pretty low for his position. So,
wow,
he's getting his points from somewhere on the floor.
The one thing is he goes to the line a lot. He can get to the line because of his size and things like that. I was looking. I remember maybe it was somewhere around February during that stretch where the Knicks were, they lost to all these games in a row, but they were right there and they should have won.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Him and RJ were going to the line. They were like in the top. At one point, they were both in the top 15 of players in the league going to the line.
I remember
both of them. Right. And they were going to the line like 8 to 10 times a game. You know what I'm saying? And so that right there, I think, is one thing that allows him to continue to score and get those 19 points per game, even sometimes if he's not shooting the ball a lot or shooting it well, because he can get to the line.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the areas where he's getting those points.
Yep.
Right.
Bully ball.
Yeah.
So far,
And
ahead.
one
No, go
other
ahead.
thing, this one, he's starting to, and maybe this even helps his game. He's starting during the end of the season. He really learned how to use that rip through,
Mhm.
right, and get to the line using that rip through. He would have the ball out there on the perimeter and boom, and he ripped through. Whatever I can't think what they call it, but he'd rip through and get the foul.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was really starting to use that a lot down the stretch of the season. And maybe that's something that starts to help his game a little bit because he learned how to time that really well.
Right. And that shows a little bit of what I would like to see from him, that he's thinking, I can use this here. I can get a point. I can get, to the basket. I mean, he's still learning. I would like him to be a little further along in terms of his decision making as well at this point, in his career. But he's still learning. So far, no stars on this team. Reddish, the only one we think could be a star, but there's a lot that needs to fall in place. So far, no stars on this on this team.
Staff said Mitch.
Huh?
Stafford said Mitch.
Stafford Don said Mitch would be a defensive star in this league. That's his ceiling.
I did say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Sid missed that.
Yeah,
I missed
said
that.
Mitch is going to be a defensive star. You want to weigh in on that before we go to Barrett?
I mean, I think Mitch I think he has the ability to be a really good defensive player. Can he put it together like defensive IQ wise? I guess is going to be the question of whether or not he becomes a defensive star in the league. And then I think also, in order for him to reach that, he's gonna need to be able to defend smaller guys on the perimeter, right? Because teams are gonna consistently, try to go small against them the same way they do with Rudy Gobert.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's gonna have to consistently be able to do that. He may have the ability to be it though.
We've seen flashes of it. We've seen games, 12 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks, where you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
But anyway, let's get to Barrett. Last one on the table, unless I forgot someone. And wins. You think I did?
Fournier.
Oh.
Fournier.
You didn't put him on no list, I don't think. Because I thought you put him in this list. Because you didn't put him in the bench list because I assumed that you put him in this one.
I didn't put him in the bench. I did put Burks in the bench list, right?
Yeah, I heard you say Burks.
Okay, you're right. All right, quickly. Fournier is starter.
Yeah, it's starter.
He's
don't
starter.
nobody think he's a
Yeah,
star.
starter for me. Starter for me.
Yeah.
Andy ain't up here. Don't nobody think he a star.
He definitely is a star. I wouldn't have put it past him being on a good team and making an all-star team.
Yeah.
He's a star in the French league.
I don't think he's a star though.
Right.
In the French league, Sim.
Right.
French league.
And just so people know in the chat, when we talk about star, we're not talking about star power. And Sim brought up a good point. We could have had a separate category for that,
Right.
star power. We got a few of those with star power, but we're talking about the potential to be a star. Tatum, Lillard, Giannis.
Right.
We can go down the Joker.
Even Drew Holiday is considered a star.
Who's that?
Drew Holiday.
I don't think so. But
Borderline. You see, borderline.
I can't. I love Drew Holiday. I love him.
Yeah. I don't think I consider him a star.
I don't think I consider him.
And I hate saying that though,
Yeah,
because I really like him too.
got to be another category for those type of guys.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's some numbers though.
He does.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Sim. And his defense
But
is
doesn't
good.
he
He has a
defend
mid
it,
range.
too, so.
He has a 3. Look, man, he could put the ball on the floor, go to the hole.
He can.
Yo, what?
But
Yeah.
but when I
Ugh.
star also is the skill package like you talked about, but isn't it also being or at least having the ability to be a number one on a team?
Yeah, like
Okay.
he too old for us to be talking about if he gonna become a star now.
But I
Yeah,
think he
because a
was
star.
To become a star, right? He's
Yeah, like
31.
Yeah,
we talk about ceilings. Like his
Yeah.
ceiling
but the
already,
Yeah. That.
we already saw his ceiling.
Yeah. That.
mm,
That light. That light is
mm,
fading.
yeah,
Well,
Right.
it's not fading yet, but it's steady.
yeah,
It's as
yeah,
bright
yeah,
as it's gonna get, probably.
yeah. He's one of them.
mm.
I don't even know if you want to call him a glue guy. He's more than that. He like a super glue. He's
Yeah,
like, you know,
Super
like
glue.
he's not Chris Paul, but he's like a
No,
notch
he's a
below Chris
shade. I would
Paul.
say a shade on. You're right. Under Chris
he
Paul, I
would
would say
elevate.
that too.
Kyle
He would.
Lowry.
Mm, I,
I think he's. I would prefer Drew. See,
I'm just
Kyle
talking about
Lowry
levels.
yeah,
brings that
me too.
dog. He brings that
Those.
dog.
I'm just talking about levels of stardom.
I,
Uh,
you could say they
I
on the
still put
same.
Drew over him, man. I
Yeah,
still
I
put
think
Drew
I
over him.
might put Drew over him too.
I
Yeah,
think it depends
But
on what I'm
Lowry is not a
asking for. I
slouch
like
either.
Kyle Lowry, man.
I like him too. I like him too. But if I had to pick one, I'm going with Drew.
Well, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, I'm just talking. Yeah,
At this point, because Kyle Lowry's like 35.
right.
Right. But when he was in his prime, he was rocking,
He was a
man.
Yeah.
dog too. He was a dog.
No doubt about it. All right, last one on the table is RJ Barrett. Um,
I would hope.
what's his ceiling?
I would hope all of us say star. Like we almost have to at this point. It'd be kind
I
of
think he
weird
does
not
have the
to.
potential. He has the potential to be a star, high end star. But remember, those stars are, to my opinion, are number ones. They're not just 20 and tens or what have you. Have the good
Oh,
stats,
so you
but
don't
their
think he has?
role on the team is a number one, in my opinion.
So you
As
don't
my
think he has
definition of a star, you guys can have a different
But do you
definition.
think he has the potential to be a number one though? Like his ceiling, like ever?
Yeah, he does. He has the potential. He does.
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
if you ask me to put money on it, though,
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what we were talking about? Like if I had to
Yeah.
bet on either RJ or Cam, I'm putting my money on RJ.
I'll put my money on RJ too, because I just think RJ has that. If he misses it, it's not going to be because he didn't work. It's not going to be because
Right,
of his
exactly.
attitude. It's not going to be because he didn't go after. It's not going to be because of any of those things. He
Right,
just didn't make it.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
yeah. I think he has the potential to be a star. The only thing that worries me about him is the athleticism.
Hmm.
And that's the only thing that worries me. The athleticism, the smoothness. Yeah, I don't see this. He plays kind of blocky, and I don't
Right.
see the smoothness in his game. Like you look at Jason Tatum and like the
Mhm.
footwork, and I mean
Yeah,
it's
they
just
should not.
smooth.
Yeah,
It's just pop, 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 pop,
that's
bang.
not the same.
Yeah, and I don't see that with RJ, and so that worries me a little bit. Because
Yeah,
I get afraid that at a certain point he doesn't have the footwork or the skill to get his shot off. Or at least a good shot. Anyone can get a
Right,
shot off, but
right,
yeah,
a
right.
quality
But a good
shot off.
shot.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that worries me about RJ.
Now, when you think about Harden, who's not very fast either, but that ball handling
Yes,
and
yeah.
and his footwork, you're right, it allows him to get to his spots, even though he's not a quick player by any stretch.
I
Yeah,
was thinking maybe when Paul Pierce came into the league,
That's my God,
but
man.
Paul
Paul
Pierce is
Pierce.
he's way smoother than RJ was though. Like he wasn't athletic, but he's a lot smoother. That's why he was able to get his own shot when he came in.
yeah,
I'm thinking a
So
guy like Carl Anderson. I think he's
slow
slow, yeah, but he's
mo.
smooth also with it too. He can shoot the three when he's open. And he could take it to the basket also too. But the one thing I am worried about is RJ's free throws. I don't know why I keep coming back to free throws.
because
You
everybody on
know,
the team has that issue. It seems like
Because
everybody you
everybody suck
talked
at it
about,
except for
that's
like
the
two
issue.
players.
I have to see him go up more on his free throws, because it had couple nights he could have hit a 40 point or 50 point, and just by not hitting his free throws, he didn't get there, or we could have won the game with his free throws or something like that. So, in order for me to put him at a star, you got to make it when it counts. You got to be that clutch, and I see him as a potential one, but he still has to create his own shot. In my opinion, he has to have a consistent mid range. Not
Yeah.
only do the 3 point, but he's good at the basket, going to the basket, but finish more aggressive at the basket. I want to see a little more dunks. You know what I mean?
He
So
not athletic enough for that though.
That's the right.
That's the thing.
yeah, but
That's the thing.
I still think he could get there though.
But does he have
Although
to dunk though? I mean, I think one of the things that I've seen from him that I really like is that he's learning how to use angles. He's learning when he
He's
does
gotten
get a
better at
half a
that, yeah.
step on somebody, how to keep him on his shoulder so that he can get to the basket and make a shot. And to me, he seemed to be finishing better, though the stats don't bear that out. But to me, he seemed to be finishing better at the rim.
Yeah.
but I think he has a low percentage in finishing around the rim.
He does. He
Yeah.
does.
If
I
I'm
think
not
it was just
mistaken,
probably
right?
Yeah,
it
it
probably
does. He
looked like
does.
that because he
So
probably more
so
attempts, I'm thinking.
it could be, we could debate on that, but I think he definitely needs to finish at the rim a little more better. And although we see him going right a little more, he needs to mix it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Go left, go right, mix in the jumper. And I think that will open up his game a lot. So potential star, yeah.
Potential star.
Central Star.
All right.
I
So we
think
got one, in our opinion, one, maybe two potential stars on the team. And I think to me, this was an important exercise because, like we talked about, to draft is the first time we'll have an opportunity to make some changes to this team, right? In terms of
Hmm.
either drafting another player or trading for a player. And it's good to know when we hollering about why they gave up, this player, that we were able to go through the exercise and really see, at least from the fans' perspective, what do we think we have. And we have a lot of starters on this team, a bench player, low end bench player, maybe, and maybe one or two stars. So, that being said, when we think about Cam and Barrett, right, those are the ones we pretty much agree have star potential.
Hmm.
Are those guys that you feel real comfortable in their star potential that you would not move them?
I think it depends on who we're moving it for. But those are the two players I definitely want to keep. But yeah, I think it all depends on the deal. Like I want to win badly, so I don't know. I really don't want to get rid of them. It would have to be like it just really depends on who we get back.
Who it is?
I don't want to.
But
I don't
that's
want to
fair.
say that
That's
I don't
fair.
want. I think it's kind of weird to say I won't move them. Like I need to know what's on the other side of the table before I do that. Like I love the Knicks so much. I'm not a RJ and Cam fan. Like I like them as players, but like
Right.
I'm a Knicks fan. I want to
Right.
win games.
Staffer?
Um, could you repeat the question one more time, please?
The two players that it seems like we pretty much agree on that has star potential is RJ and Cam. That being said, do you think that their star potential is high enough that you wouldn't consider moving them?
All right. Definitely, I want to keep RJ. He's going to be at least a plant that we have moving forward, right? Because he's going to be one of the first Knicks that we ever signed off a rookie contract in a long time. Now with Cam's situation, he's looking to get paid also too. And Queen, we spoke about this last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if he does pop? Will he accept a friendly deal?
If he
Or
pops, the Knicks got to work it out. We talking about how he pops now. We talk about a
Yeah.
little pop or a big pop.
right, right,
Cam
right.
popping is
So
different. Like,
but at the same time, he is considered, in my opinion, a trade bait
Wow.
because we could move him and get a potential point guard that the Knicks so desperately need, probably with somebody else. Either it could come up in the draft, or we could give him a chance this season, and if it don't pan out by trade deadline, we trade him. So I see Cam. He may be a trade bait. He may be a trade bait, but it all goes back, if he shines this year and the trade deadline pass and we don't move him, are we going to sign him to a decent deal where he want to stay and not become a restricted free agent?
But we can
That's where
match
I'm at
though.
with Cam.
We can still
Well,
match.
well, it may be one team out there might be like, go ahead and outbid us and get him. So I mean, yeah, we could match, but it's all, we got these expert capologists inside there. So you got to look at all these things. You know, the team that Leon brought in, uh, scouts, capologists. You understand what I mean? To get this thing right. So, all of these things factor in. So it could be a trade bait. He comes in, he plays good. We sign him to a decent deal. He accepted. Yeah, let's go. So, you know, I, as I said, he could be a potential trade bait.
Okay. All right. Sam?
you muted, son.
Yeah, you mean it.
For me, anybody is tradable.
Right.
That's the way I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
It all depends. It's got to be the right trade. If you're going to make your team better, plus you think you can be better for the future as well. You know what I mean? And you feel like, hey, this is something that's really going to make us a playoff team. Yeah, I'm willing to do it. You know what I mean? Make us a playoff team, but obviously not like selling yourself, selling away the farm to the point where you can only go to a certain point. But if you think
Right.
you're making a move that's going to help you now as well as the future,
Right.
I'm willing to make that move. But like Jarrell said, what's on the other side of that deal?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think, I hate to put it like this, right? But if he was Ja Morant, you might be like, nah, I'm just rocking with him.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's a
saying? You
little
had Ja.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
You had Ja. You're like, nah, I think I'm just rocking with him for a while. But I don't think he's there now. If he came out next season and he was giving us 27 points on high efficiency, and then you might be like, okay,
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
different.
that's different. But right
Yeah.
now, I'm not there yet with any of the guys that's on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, Sam. And Jarrell, it depends on who's in the deal and does it make the team better. I like to keep RJ. I like to see how he develops over the next, year or two for sure. But in order to win in this league, you need a star. You look at these teams in the playoffs, they have stars. Even if they don't have great teams around them, they have at least one star.
Yep.
And we need that. And if we're going to grow them, if one of these guys grow into that, that's great. Um, But it's like the stocks, if somebody come and I got a star right now, when you sitting there saying, well, this could become a star, I'm not quite sure.
Right, right,
Do I want to take one that's already a star? And again, it depends. Hopefully it's not an aging star. The answer is no, you
right.
know. But if that star is still young, you got to think about it. The question I have is, again, star and superstar in the same, similar. Is Donovan Mitchell a star? Even if he's not a superstar, is he a star?
Mm,
I think so.
yeah, I think so too. I think he is.
I think he is too. Sam?
I do. I think that he's a star. And I think he's a star now. I think the question is, how much of a star does he become?
Right, exactly.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
And what you
I
got to
think,
put around him.
yeah, but I definitely think he's a star. It's
Yeah.
just I guess we just don't know how far he can go. How old is Donovan Mitchell right now?
I think he's
25.
25.
Yeah, something like
And
that.
and the way he played in the playoff series, does that lower your opinion of him?
I just think there's so many factors that go into a playoff series.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't lower my opinion. I just think there's too many factors.
25. He'll be 26 in September.
26th of September.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. No, no. This is the Donovan Mitchell. Is that this is the okay? So wrong picture came up. So the wrong picture came up. Or unless that was him at a younger age. Yeah, 20, yeah,
yeah,
25.
I do. I see that is the wrong picture.
Right?
I don't know who that is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that is. And that's definitely not him as a younger person. I don't have any clue who
Any
that is.
idea who that is, right?
No, right. But
So can I
He'll
ask a
he'll
quick
be
question?
28, 26 though. Do you think that's still a good enough window if we were able to pull it off to build a team around him?
I do. I think he can still learn at that age.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think
I
he
think
can
so
still
too.
learn.
Yep.
I think that and his playoff performance, I look at it like this. People want to look at players and say, well, you couldn't take your team here, you couldn't take your team there. Uh First of all, it's not just about one player. I mean, you can have the greatest player in the world. You still need Scottie Pippen,
Right.
Right.
No, no
to
doubt.
help you get
No doubt.
someplace, right?
No
Exactly.
doubt.
So you
Right.
still need that. You still need help around you uh, to get wherever you're gonna get. And then I think it's part of the development of a player to have a bad series or to not play well in the playoffs. That's how you grow.
Right.
I mean, DeMar DeRozan for years was,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he can't get it. He can't get it done. He can't get it done. He can't get it done. And at 30, whatever years old he is now, 31, 31, 30, 31 years old,
Mm-hmm.
he had the best career season of his life. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Or best season of his career. You know what I mean? All of these things are, I think, part of a player's growth and development. And for you to, have a rough playoff series, this is what you got to go through to get there. Look at Chris Paul. Look how many years
Yes.
Chris Paul couldn't get, was
Right.
eliminated in the first round, or couldn't get to the
Yep.
Western Conference Finals, or whatever it was. And had some really, really good teams. And now he's
Right.
been in the finals. No, well, he's in the finals last year,
Right.
and most people think he's going to go to the finals this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you can almost guarantee that all of those lessons that he's learned are being poured into the Phoenix Suns right now.
Right. No
Yes,
doubt
I
about it.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. Definitely no doubt about it. This is what I will say. If we were to bring in Donovan Mitchell or any other star who's a star already, you got to surround them with experienced players. Like if you bring in Donovan Mitchell
Right. Right.
in and you're going to surround him with as many young players as we have right now, you wasting his time. You
Right.
wasting
Right.
his
Right.
years. It's going to take a few years, probably other than RJ. It's probably going to take a few years for those guys to pop. You really need to bring in some other more experienced guys around him.
You really need to bring in another superstar
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
really want to win something. Like
Yeah.
really win. not
Yeah,
just getting out of
because
the first
just
round.
The Knicks is worse than Utah. So if he's
Right.
trying to win,
It ain't gonna happen with just Donovan Mitchell.
it's not going to happen with just
Yeah,
Donovan.
but Jarrell,
Hmm?
all the superstars are locked up. All of them,
Yeah.
from Kawhi to LeBron to who else? Trey. Who else you consider a superstar? Shane Alexander Gildress. Him. Is all these superstars are locked up for that big contract.
Yeah, that's true. The stars
Giannis,
gotta align.
Luca. Yeah, so I mean, a star. That's what you got to look for, and try and build around good foundational players that will help them. You know,
Right.
maybe like how Giannis and them did it last year. You know, one superstar, one mid-level star. You know, and you had Drew and the Arada shooters around them.
Right.
You know, so it could potentially happen.
You got to be Giannis good for that to happen, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, wow, he's 6'1" with a 6'10" wingspan.
Who,
Like,
Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah,
wow.
but
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. If you bring in Donovan, just to
Right.
what you said, we got to surround him with players, as you said, to help him to get there.
Right.
You know, because if you look at it, what 3 years ago, Donovan took the team to the conference finals. He had good foundational players around him to take him there. He didn't have to do it on his own. And what the Sim said, he didn't had nobody a Pippin to help him. Who was the Pippin on the team to help him? Not Rudy.
Right.
Hmm.
It was
The
supposed to
only
be like
person that was
Jordan
probably doing
Clarkson.
something was exactly. I was just
Right.
about to say that. So you gotta have people to help him get to there, as what Queen said, right? Else we wasting his years,
Right.
right? And a question I wanted to push back to RJ: how do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like y'all do want to resign him, or do we just give him the 1 year and make him to see if he does it, if he does average 20 points again, or we trade him? Because Sim
Oh,
says
wow.
everybody is tradable. So
Right.
Sim, you first. I want to hear what you want to say.
Say that again.
Do we sign RJ to an extension? Because you said earlier that nobody is untradeable,
Mm-hmm.
right? So do you give him the 1 more year to see if he could average 20 points or better again? Or do we just let him go and make him become an unrestricted free agent?
If I am the Knicks, first of all, I try to lock him up at a good deal. The extension is, yeah, I try to lock him up at a good deal with an extension, something that I think is fair. If I can lock him up at a really good deal, a deal where I think, that I think is either going to be, right where he is, and if he stays where he is, it's still a value, or he might, supersede that deal. So, if I can lock him up early and a nice deal, then that's what I would do. If they feel like they're worth more, then I'm going to say, well, let's see him do it this year, and we'll take care of this next off season.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
So
what I.
you're signing him based on a team friendly deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Something
Okay.
that's fair, right? Something
Okay.
that I think is fair. But if they want to try to go for the gusto, then I'm like, well, you need to show me something
Right.
this season,
Exactly.
Right.
and
Yeah, I
then
agree with
we
that.
can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Before we get out of here, I just want to bring up this comment by Rayology because he makes a good point. I'll show both of them. If Donovan Mitchell is the star we think he'll be, let him walk here in free agency in 2026 when he'll be 28, 29. When RJ is 24 in year 6, I'm not compromising foundational pieces to bring in more questions. And I think, what they're talking about in the chat is there's 10 teams better than us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you bring in Donovan Mitchell, it doesn't really move the needle. It doesn't really make us better than any of those teams in front of us. Agree or disagree?
I mean, there's some teams in back of us that can be better than us next year too. Like, I guess it all depends on what we're doing in the off season, but yeah, I think it just all depends. Like, we don't know. Like, it has obviously this roster has to change in order for us to be better. So I
Right.
don't know.
Donovan Mitchell by himself. I don't know if that does it either.
Yeah, it doesn't. Especially it depends on who we giving up for him too.
I
they're gonna ask for everything.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I,
it's a
I
lot.
I mean, we got the assets to trade. We got the draft picks. We got the second rounders.
That's that's the thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. And I mean, and as I said before, Cam could be in that trade. As I said before earlier, he could be a trade bait, right? And and also too, I mean, look, I understand what radiology is saying, foundational players. You understand what I mean? But it may be in a trade that they ask for Grimes. I mean, are you talking about Donovan Grimes? So if they ask for Grimes, I'm throwing him in that trade, bro. You
Yeah,
understand
you
what I'm
have to.
saying? You can, you know,
Right.
as Sim said, everybody's tradable. Nobody's really, like really set to say, okay, this is the player right here that we have to keep. Probably except for RJ, right? So, I mean, look, if the right deal comes and we giving up at least a couple first round picks, a Cam, a Grimes,
Nah, they're gonna want more than that. They're gonna want more
I
than that.
mean, we could throw probably Burks in there.
Mm.
I mean, we got some veterans that they probably will want. We could probably throw in Noel in there. I mean,
If they
look,
take it, I'm down for it.
you understand
If
what I'm
they
saying?
take it,
So
I'm down
I
for it. I think
mean,
it's gonna cost
we
more,
got
but
we could mix it up with some veterans and young guys and throw in some picks and still make it work. I mean, look, we have to give up something in order to get something. You know what I mean? You can't be stingy, bro. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But as I said, it has to make sense at the same time.
This is what I will say. Donovan Mitchell alone may not make us, we may or may not be able to overtake, one of those teams in front of us. But I'll tell you this, we'll have something that we don't have right now, and that's a star. And that's a start. And if you're going to be anything in this league, you have to have a star on your team. So if we get a star first, and then we go about building it, and I think they would need to do it, rather quickly. I'm down for it. It may not, maybe it doesn't make a difference in year one, but year two, I think if the front office can't make it happen, by year two, they'll be moving on.
So
Yeah,
Queen,
that's
you
true.
don't have no confidence in RJ and Julius with Donovan to at least get us to,
But I know.
let's say,
Oh, I
between
do. Oh,
10 and 7.
I do. But
We ain't
I'm
gonna do that
thinking in
though,
order for us to get Donovan, we're gonna have to give up one of them,
or
right.
even both.
or
Right.
even yeah. That's
Yeah.
I do have
No, I
confidence.
don't.
If
I
we,
don't think they're gonna get. I don't think they might give up both.
but if yeah,
They
sure,
they they, they,
Donovan,
they
Rand.
mostly might give up. They might want more draft picks and probably a potential superstar. Either that's RJ or Julius. I'll say that.
Right. But if we had all three, to your point, yeah. I never even thought of that because I just figured
Yeah,
they're gonna take one of those.
Right, right, right.
They're gonna take one of those.
Yeah.
But listen, even if you wait on the young guys, they're not gonna come from marinating to the fourth spot. Even if you wait on the young guys, it's the same thing. A play in maybe, eighth seed maybe, and they, each year move up, maybe skip, some years, but it's not going to be like you're going to incubate them and then when they're ready, you're going to
right.
pop
Yeah,
right into the
that's
fourth
true.
seed. You're still going to have to go step by step. So whether we going step by step with a young team or we going step by step with young players, because Donovan Mitchell is 25. We're not talking about, a 30-year-old. um, player, it's the same thing. So if you don't want to go to the eighth seed with a Donovan Mitchell, you're gonna go to the eighth seed with a young. It's the same thing.
Yep.
It's the same thing. It's step by step. Rarely you're gonna just
Mhm.
pop into the playoffs in the fifth seed. You know,
We need two stars.
we need to. I don't know how we get that, but anyway, any last words before we get out of here?
Do you all think Donovan Mitchell's really going to ask for a trade?
It could be a potential. It could be a potential. He could because I'm hearing rumors. Snyder, Lakers like Snyder to be a potential head coach. So if that happens, I may see the team break up, and he may ask for a trade because they didn't. To your point, they didn't really have nothing around him this year.
I mean, the front office can also sell him on the fact that we're going to bring in a new coach. The offense is going to be, a little better.
Right.
This is what we're planning. What we're planning to do. And I, do you think Rudy Gobert is that bad offensively that they can't run not one play for him? I mean, he's 7 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be able to run something that'll get him the ball really close to the basket. Well, all he has to do is,
They got guards that can give him the
Mm-mm.
ball too.
Yeah. But another thing, Queen, you got people like Pat Riley, who's also looking to get a Donovan Mitchell. So,
Yeah,
you
I actually
know,
think that's where he probably or
with
might be
Dwayne
going.
Wade over there posing as a part owner, so he could feed him, feed him to
Right.
Miami.
look, that's what I'm trying to
About
tell
that.
you, Queen. I mean, I look at it as we probably have an advantage because of his dad and his upbringing over here and him born over here. He probably dreams to be a Knick, or whatever may be the case. But Pat, he gonna throw his rings on the table and say,
Right.
"Look, do you want to win, or do you want to go to a Knicks franchise that haven't won nothing in 20 years?" And
Right. What
and
we
he
throwing
gonna
on the
go through
table?
the line and exactly and all
We
of
throwing
this.
COVID test on the table?
You understand what I'm saying? So look,
But it's not free agency; it's a trade. So I don't think
yeah,
Right.
he'll
yeah.
have that
So
opportunity to.
Well, I guess honestly, if he does, you know, ask for a trade, I guess you still do make your pitch though. You just got to
Yeah.
do it, a
yeah,
through
certain
through
way.
the through the
yeah,
through his representation.
Yeah.
I think you gotta make your pitch, and I think you also gotta make a pitch to Donovan's representation on how you're gonna build.
Right,
If you want them to say we only want to go to the Knicks, or or put the Knicks in a group with two or three other teams,
right.
his representation's got to feel comfortable that the Knicks are going to be able to put something around them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I mean, and you can see this whole thing going down. I mean, the Knicks have way more in the cupboard than they did when Carmelo Anthony was being traded. But you remember how the whole thing went.
Yep.
Melo said he wanted to go to the Knicks, and it was just, it was basically he wanted to go to the Knicks. You know what I mean? It didn't end up being the Knicks or Brooklyn. And yeah, the Knicks gave up a lot. I mean, I actually thought it was worth it. Still, I still feel like the Knicks made the wrong moves afterwards.
Right.
That's what
What I'm
I
saying?
think too.
It wasn't just that they just made the wrong moves afterwards. I mean, they gave up a first round pick for Bargnani. They
Yep.
did the whole thing with Tyson Chandler. I just felt like they made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
And still put together a 54-win team. It was just once, but they still put together a 54-win team. Well, if they made the right moves, things could have been a lot different.
Right.
I think they got a lot more in the cupboard this time as far as cap flexibility, draft picks. I mean, I went over the draft picks the other day. They got
Yeah.
a crazy amount of second round draft picks. They got first round draft picks. So they have a lot in the cupboard to be able to make a move for a player like Mitchell and still have young players, have a team, and be able to make another move somewhere else along the line. So
Yeah, because I think we have better young players now than we had back then. and we got a
Yeah.
lot of them. And to your point, Sam, we give up 3 or 4. We got like what 8 players under 25.
Right.
Mhm.
Even if they take 4,
Yeah.
we still got 5. We still got another
give up-
4
You
players.
give up. Let's say you gave up IQ and Obi. And I'm not just talking about Donovan Mitchell in any trade. You gave up IQ and Obi. You still got RJ. You got Quentin Grimes. You got Jericho Sims. You got
We got
Cam.
McBride.
I mean,
Cam.
McBride, like you got a lot of young players, and you talking about, there's a lot of pieces there and a lot of young players. How much do other teams value those players is another question. But
Right.
Right. Exactly.
then you got
Right.
draft picks to be able to add players.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Anything is possible.
And then those
You
2023 draft picks, like those 2023 second round draft picks, can be very, very valuable, which is one of the reasons why I think the Knicks collected so many of them, because that's the first year that high school players are supposed to be able to enter the
eligible for
NBA.
the draft.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that draft may be very, very deep, and you may get
Mhm.
some first round talent deep in the second
In the
round.
second round. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a possibility that you find an all-star in the second round. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Right.
mean, you may draft a high school player who has all of this talent, can't play in the league yet, stash him in the G League for a couple of years, and then
Right.
bam. You know what I'm saying? So those
Yeah.
second round picks, I think, can be very, very valuable for the.
Do
for
you know
any
how
team.
many we have in that particular draft?
Oh, I forgot, but I think
It was a lot of them.
it's like 4 or 5
In-
second round draft picks
In just that draft?
in just that draft.
What do you do if you can't unload them?
You know what? I talked about that the other day. I think if you can't unload them, because they're second round picks, they're not guaranteed money,
Right.
right? So you draft them and then have them all play in the G League and fill out your G League roster. You know what I'm saying? And then
That
see what
makes
happens
sense.
from there.
So basically, you got like a Team Ignite.
Exactly. You can draft your own team, Ignite in the G
Yep.
League, and just rock with them for a little while and see if
That
something
makes sense.
happens.
That makes
know?
sense.
So yeah, you can do that. So I mean, when you start talking about developing young players through your G League system, the
Mhm.
Knicks would, if they can't move these picks, they'd be set up to do that. And in 2024, they got like 4 second round draft picks.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
See,
saying,
now
man.
we
We got a
wild.
lot
That's
of draft picks, bro.
Right.
We have a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think we're going to be okay if we need to give up young players. We got draft
Yeah.
picks, like you said, and we still got 3 or 4 young players that would be left on the team.
Yeah,
I just think us as fans just can't be attached to him. That's all.
right. I know.
That's
You
the
know,
only thing.
Right.
We'll see
Right.
one of these high school guys killing in the G League and be like, we
Right.
got a point guard
Right.
right there.
Never mind. IQ who? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I'm not yeah. I mean, I like certain players, but it's about the Knicks getting better.
Exactly.
It's about
Right.
the Knicks getting better. So
Right.
I'm okay if just don't do, and I don't think this front office will be responsible with any trade you make. Don't
Yeah.
give up all our young talent and we coming back with a 32-year-old player. Like, I just think that's a bit too much. But if you bringing back a young player, yeah, I think that's good.
Real.
I think somebody said Zach LaVine.
He said, "I'm."
I think
attached."
somebody said,
Reality said I'm attached. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
yeah,
This was
because
good.
he said he don't want to. He said he don't want to skip steps. And I understand what he's saying, but at the same time, bro, we got Knicks fan like me.
But is that
We've
skipping
been
the
a fan
step,
for a
bringing in young
long
players?
time. And I mean, in Reality's opinion, I don't feel that way.
I don't think that's skipping steps. I mean, there's many ways to construct a team. There's not one way to do it. I mean, look what Brooklyn did. I mean, it didn't work out, but not because those guys aren't talented for so many other reasons.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The Knicks have 4 second round draft picks in 2023. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they have 4 in 2024. 4. And then they have 2 in 2025. And they have 2 in 2026.
That's 12.
Those are just the second rounders.
Those are second rounders. And then they have all of their
That's
first
12.
round draft picks. Right. They have all of their first round draft picks. And in 2023, they have a Dallas pick as long as it falls between 11 and 30. And then,
So how much?
yeah.
So how much first round picks we have?
All of
So
them.
this year we have one.
Right.
We traded one. We traded one to get Cam Reddish. So we have one first round
Okay.
pick. And then next
Okay.
year we have two. We have our own, and then we got
That's three.
Dallas's.
That's four. Okay.
It's
Right.
about to
No,
get
no.
So
nutty.
so in
No,
total
we have three.
so
In the next 2 years, we have three first round picks. We have ours this year, ours next year, and then Dallas's next year.
And 4
okay,
second
so
round.
that's three.
And
So that's
four
what
second, right.
fifth. So that's 15 in the next 4 years.
And the next 4 years, we got a lot of them. A lot
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
about to get crazy.
Yo,
Yeah, it's gonna get
listen.
Right.
Either
But I mean,
somebody,
I think
somebody gonna
the
get
front
fired.
office
That's
at
right.
this point has been very conservative, and I guess
Yeah.
maybe they know the type of players that they want, and they're not going to give up their flexibility until they get it. I hope that's the case. I hope they're just not being gun shy. Where there's deals out there to be made, and they just being nervous about it.
Right.
I was actually shocked that they traded for Cam.
Mm.
I was really, really shocked. I
But
didn't think they was going to
but
do that
Tibbs didn't
because
want
of what you
that
said.
though. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know Tibbs didn't want that. That's why I was really shocked that they did it. I'm glad they did it, but I was really shocked because they have been conservative. Like nobody saw that coming, really. Some people wanted him, but nobody thought that we was actually going to do it.
Yeah. And what's crazy is they just traded the Charlotte first round pick. They didn't even trade their own. They traded the Charlotte first round pick. Remember last year in the draft, they traded down from 21 to 25.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to trade down from 21 to 25, they picked up Charlotte's pick,
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Right.
it was. And then they used that pick for Cam Reddish.
Yep.
So would you wait until free agency to sign Zach LaVine?
We don't have money though.
You don't have
Yeah.
money.
We don't have money for that.
I think there's ways for the Knicks to clear space to get some money, right? They have right now the salary cap is projected to be $122 million,
Right.
right? That's the projection. The Knicks have $120.5 million committed. Well, I might as well say $120.6 million committed. So there's about $1.4 million free if that projection stands. Jericho Sims, there's a qualifying offer for 1.7 million, I believe it is, or 1.5 million, somewhere around there. So if they do not extend the qualifying offer, they have about $3 million in cap space, right? So now what they've got to do is they got to find somebody to absorb one of these contracts. Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Noel, whoever it is. They got to find someone to absorb one of these contracts. If they can do that, and maybe they do that by throwing 2 second round picks at somebody to absorb the contract, then they can open up about $20 million. That's not going to be enough to get Zach LaVine, but,
But we got a lot of assets. Keep throwing second round picks with to other players until you get what you need.
Oh man.
But the thing about it is, he's gonna be a max guy. RJ is probably not gonna be max, but he's gonna cost money. You're gonna be capped out, and is that a good enough team?
oh, is that who? Say that again.
Is that a good enough team? You're gonna be pretty much, I would think, hard capped at that point, right? With RJ's extension, maxing out Levine, and well, you would have had to send some salary out in order to fit him in.
Yeah, I mean, for next season, I don't think they would, because RJ's still going to make his $8 million next season. His contract wouldn't begin until the following season.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, where the Knicks would have a whole bunch of people coming off the books. Like right now for that season, they got like $40 million committed for 2020, for 2023, 2024. It's like $40 million or something like that committed. And that's basically Julius Randle right now, Julius Randle and Evan Fournier. Right. And so then you're talking about RJ, which is going to be another, I don't know, let's just say $25 million or something like that. That's $65 million. So they'd have $65 million committed. If they sign someone for $20 to $30 million, you're talking $85 to $90 million committed, and the salary cap is probably going to be at that point 125 million, maybe goes up a little bit more, somewhere around there. So you would think that they would still have money to be able to add some players. In 23, 24, depending on, but at that point, you're gonna have to make a decision about Obi, about IQ,
I was about to make that point
and all of
too.
those guys.
Right.
Like all
Right.
that's coming up fast too.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
wanted to keep all the young guys, but all the young guys are going to want to have to get paid within like the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of people that's going to have to get paid soon.
Right.
Yeah.
And Obi and IQ are both first round picks.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not going to want to. They want an extension too. So
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts.
Decisions are gonna have to be made.
yep, somebody has like
Boy.
to be honest. Like a couple of them have to go. Like we don't have enough money to pay all of them,
Right.
or give all of them extensions. There's too many first round picks on the team at this point. That's the same age that came in around the same time.
Because Grimes is a first round pick too.
Yo, this is
Grimes,
crazy.
IQ, Obi, Cam.
Cam.
Yep.
And
all these
Cam
guys.
is next. I mean, after
Yeah.
RJ, because I don't think they're gonna even offer an extension this summer. I would be shocked if they
I don't
did.
think so either.
I don't think so
they're
either.
gonna make him,
That's
not earn it,
That's
but
what I'm saying. He could be a trade bait for a point guard. I'm just saying though, man.
Unless he
'cause
said
he's a
that he was
first round-
signed for like 15 million, I think they would do it.
Right.
I think they would do it.
Who, Cam?
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't think so?
I think it's all going to depend on how well he plays next year.
Yeah, they was giving Mitch less than 12. So yeah, they're not gonna give Cam 15.
Yeah, I mean, Cam would have to come out and kill like
Yeah.
20, average 20 a game.
Yeah.
I think.
No, well, there's nothing he can do about an extension this summer. Like I'm saying, if the Knicks can get him on a real cheap, they would probably offer an extension this summer. But you're right, the following summer, he's gonna have to kill this year.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get busy this year. And if I'm his people, I'm like, I'm trying to push like, yo, you gotta find a way to get this guy to play. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants to get paid, and the only way he can really get paid is if he can prove himself.
Right.
So Sim, I asked this on last night's show, right? If we put him in the starting lineup, where does he get his time to shine? Do we stagger his minutes and let him play with the second unit to Pop? Or how do we allocate him to Pop at the same time and do his thing to get paid?
If he's if he's a starter, right? So he's probably getting 30 minutes a game if he's a starter. I think you do play him some minutes with the second unit, right? If there's room to play him with the second unit, because who's going to be in the second unit? Probably Fournier, unless Fournier's traded or something like that. But I don't know if is there room for him to play in the second unit. I actually think that even if he played in the first unit, because of the way that he plays, if we have a point guard that knows how to get the ball around, because he knows how to flash, he knows how to slice to the basket. He's good in transition. You know what I mean? I feel like he can probably get 12 to 15 points just from the style of game that he has, and he knows where to be on the floor. And he can hit free throws.
Right. Yes, he can.
So he might be able to, if he's getting 30 minutes a game, I think he could average 12 to 15 points a game if he's playing 30 minutes a game.
Is he getting 30 minutes though?
That's the thing. Is he getting 30 minutes?
I think you got to trade Fournier. I think if Fournier is on his team,
no way.
It would be hard for me to see Tibbs not starting them.
Tibbs will start Burks again over. Let's just keep it real, man.
Or Grimes, or they might start Grimes.
Or he'll start Grimes over him for sure. To be honest.
Yeah.
So Sim, you said 12 points.
I think I think if he played 30 minutes a game, I think he could average 12 to 15 points per game.
All right. So that being said, put on your GM hat. How much are we paying him now?
Still tough, but I mean,
I don't have an answer for that. Like I ain't seen. I don't know.
13 million.
You just go throw that out
That's
there.
mad cheap. If you can get
Just go
him,
throw 13 million out.
I'm because how much did Derrick Rose average per game coming on the bench? Right, 14 points a game. So if he's averaging between 12 and 15, Derrick Rose got 13 million. I think probably 13 million, something like that. Short
now
contract.
that's mad cheap. If they can get Cam Reddish, you don't think that's cheap for his? Well, I guess if you're considering his upside, it's cheap.
Yeah,
But if you're considering what he's actually done
what he's doing right
up to this point, you're right.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like but you do it on a short contract, right? You're not trying to do him 5 years because he ain't gonna do that because he thinks,
right.
in a minute.
Right.
So you do it a short contract. We're gonna give you, $13-14 million for 2 seasons, and we'll give you a player option in the 3rd season. That way you can opt out and have a chance to get a real big contract or something like that. If you really at the point where you're gonna do something.
If they on the same team and RJ signed that extension and Cam only making 13, he better look himself in the mirror.
2 years, 26 million.
Right.
Wow.
And RJ getting that in one.
No, but Jarrell, remember we paid Bobby Portis 15 mil for 1 year. And then he goes to Milwaukee.
Use that money though.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, you're right.
We had to use that money.
Right.
I mean, Cam Reddish so far in his career has been averaging 10 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's his career average, right? 10 points a game, 32% from the 3-point line, 38% from the field, 38.7% from the field.
We got so many of these 38 to 41% field goal shooters.
Right, I know.
We need some efficient players that can get us a basket.
Right.
I'm actually surprised that Cam scored that much as an average, to be honest.
10?
He wasn't getting that. He wasn't getting that many minutes, to be honest.
Throughout his career.
Yeah, throughout his career, I'm saying.
Yeah, so
he hasn't been playing that much.
His career is 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that high.
Yeah.
I thought it seemed like he wasn't playing that much in
Right.
Atlanta.
That's what it seemed like. So his first season with Atlanta, he started 34 games. He played 58, started 34. He averaged 26.7 minutes a game. Second season, he started 21 games, but he only played 26 games that season.
He got hurt.
And it was 28.8 minutes a game. He still was only averaging 11.2 because he didn't shoot well from the field. He shot 36.5% from the field.
Right.
And then in 21-22, well, this season, he averaged 20.7 minutes a game. So he's been, his first 2 seasons, he been playing a lot of minutes.
He logged a lot of minutes. He logged way more minutes than I thought he did.
Yeah. So that's a good sample size,
From what it seemed like with us, people was like, "Oh, he ain't getting no burn, like he getting."
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was less than that, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, this man's getting 25 minutes per game. That's a lot.
He just got hurt a couple times.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So when he was healthy, he was playing.
Do we reconsider him a star now or potential star now? With Sim just bringing out all those
changes now.
I don't know.
Well, we're saying what his ceiling can be, but you're right. When you've been in the league, 3-4 years, you kind of get a track record, right? And get a chance to see. I mean, he could still pop, I guess. And put it all together and take off.
Right. Man.
Yeah. I think Jarrell, like I said before, what he said kind of put a damp on things for me when it came to Cam, and that Atlanta let him go. That Atlanta let him go. So
right. Yeah, he never had.
Yeah, but they made a mistake.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping they let go of him too early. That's what I'm hoping, that they let go of him too early and it didn't allow him to work through But from what Jarrell is saying, this has been going on through high school.
He never had a high motor. That's just not his personality. He more like, remember Staff said RJ was Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
Like Cam has Kyle Anderson type of personality. Like he's, I don't know, he's just laid back.
But I mean, listen, Kevin Durant is laid back too. Like
Kevin
when
Durant
you
is
watch
a-
Kevin Durant
yeah,
play, he
that's
don't
true.
seem like he playing on fire. You know,
Right,
he's
right,
just
right.
really smooth. So some players are like that.
That's true.
You know, where they just, you know, really smooth and they don't look like they're putting in a lot of effort.
So was Melo.
hmm
Melo,
Melo was Melo too.
nah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Melo had more
yeah,
intensity
but
than
Melo
that,
had,
though.
yeah, he get a little bit of fire.
Yeah,
though.
every time he got a rebound, you remember what he screamed out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Like we all been to them games, man.
Yeah.
Like Cam would never do that.
Right.
Like you won't hear him say anything all game.
Right. I think for me, go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say, I just hope that RJ's contract is the thing that light a fire on him, because his contract compared to RJ's is gonna be disgusting. They are friends. Like they gonna chill. They chill together. Like I won't say they brothers
RJ
or
gonna be
whatever.
paying for everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not doubling my fam. Like you got to think about. They came out of high school together, went to Duke together. You're not doubling my salary.
Right.
Right.
And we still cool? Nah, I got to beat you in something.
Right. Right.
Nah,
right.
no way.
Yeah,
Like,
he gonna be in every day in practice. Let's go, RJ, 1-on-1.
exactly.
All right now,
right.
let's
Like
go.
not of you doubling my salary. You make it 26, I make it 13.
Word.
Nah.
Every day, coach. Look at this, coach.
Yep.
Right. I wonder if he was disappointed with the trade to the Knicks. He wanted more time, and then he comes to a team that's loaded, at least for this season anyway, at the 2 and the 3.
Well, I mean Tibbs is the coach, so
Hey,
ain't no getting
Jarrell,
around that.
as of right now, RJ's doubling up on points with him though. So,
Ooh, see,
Yeah.
you making it even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear Sim say 12 points, 11 points, 10
Right.
points, 11 points.
And
From the
25
time RJ
minutes a
came to-
game on
Right.
average, right? 25 minutes a game. That's a good sample size.
Average.
When RJ came in, he come in averaging 14, and everything started elevating after that. Then to 17, and then he averaged 20 this year. So, yo, I'm giving him the 26, whatever RJ want. Not anything, but
Right. Right.
of
right,
course.
Right.
I mean, big sample size between RJ and Cam.
Right.
So, and he got the burn. He got the minutes.
Yeah.
So, but let's see if TC is right.
Right.
Atlanta made a mistake, so let's see.
And when I look at their shooting percentages between the two, RJ shoots a little bit better, right? His first 2 seasons is
That's saying a lot.
44%. Yeah. So RJ shoots 41.8% from the field for his career and 35.7% from 3 for his career. And Cam for his career is 38.7% from the field and 32.5%. RJ though, and maybe it's due to his defense, rebounding, whatever it is, but ever since he's averaging 33.5 minutes per game, so he's almost 10 minutes more than Cam per game.
Right.
What's the free throw percentage? We gotta give Cam something. What's free throw?
No, he's up there. He's up there in free
Yeah,
throw.
So you gotta
RJ
give him
is like,
something.
for his career, RJ is 69.7
Ooh,
free throw line,
Is
and
he?
Cam for his career is 84.1.
yo, I didn't know RJ was.
And
in
I
the
think he was
60s.
90% this year, right?
Yeah,
Something like that,
90% this year. Yeah, so yeah.
If something clicks, like it clicked with RJ, I mean, RJ was still pretty steady, but then something else clicked in terms of his mentality. But if something clicks with Cam, it's over.
Yeah, but and check this out in the playoffs. Obviously, I guess against the Knicks, Cam was 12.8 points per game. He shot 52.8% from the field and 64.3% from the 3-point line and 80% from the free throw line.
Yeah,
That was in the playoffs in 4
I
games.
remember that.
23 minutes a game.
Yeah. And he was just coming back off an injury, if
Yep.
I remember correctly.
Just came back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he
the
was
sad
but
part. He's
Atlanta-
always just coming back from injury.
right?
That's true.
Yes, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, that's true. And he got injured this year
Yeah,
with his just his little bit of time with the Knicks, you know.
Hustling for Tibbs.
right, right.
You know
Well,
what though? That gotta give you some brownie points, you know, in the long run.
I don't know.
right.
It's Tibbs, so he might not even care.
Nah, I think he will. I think listen, any coach wants to win. You know, if
That's true.
I think he's going to have that opportunity in training camp to beat out Burks if Burks is here.
That's the time to do
Hey,
it.
You don't think so?
hey, Quinn, I always get mad because you always say Burks. He got beat out Fournier.
All right, but all right,
Yeah,
Fournier.
because Burks,
All right,
yeah, Burks
Fournier.
still
I mean,
starting to. Burks still
I
starting point
mean,
guard for right
I'm
now.
not saying
That's
anything
true.
about
That's true.
Burks.
'Cause,
I'm just
yeah, that's
saying
true.
his goal should be to beat out Fournier. You know what I mean? And I think
That's true because he's not going
defensively,
to start in Burks spot
Well, hold on though.
at the point guard position.
At this point, I don't even think it's Fournier. He has to beat out Grimes
Yeah,
because Grimes is going to get more minutes than him. If everything stands how they are now, you gotta think about it. The only reason Grimes wasn't playing big minutes is because he got hurt too.
yeah.
And
I mean, I think
he
for
would have been
Cam,
playing way more minutes than Cam.
yeah, for Cam's to beat out Grimes. Remember, Tibbs ain't into all of that upside. He's into what are you gonna
Yeah,
give me
right.
like right now?
Yep.
He gonna have to come in like a tarantula, like with his long arms, like really
Right.
wrecking havoc on the defensive end. Otherwise, you're right. Grimes might get the nod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
he does have the advantage that he could always back up RJ if so. Because I don't see Grimes playing in threes. I think Cam could be slotted either spot, so that'll
yeah,
give him some advantage, at least as far as getting some minutes.
yeah. I think RJ at this point is a three. I think he's like 6'7" at this point. Um, Yeah, but I mean, I guess if you did start Cam, he can move over to the to the shooting guard position. Um,
He could play the floor too. I think
RJ,
Cam.
Cam.
Cam, yeah,
yeah, in a small ball setting.
small ball for
Yeah.
Small ball setting, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He definitely can 6'8", and his wingspan look like it's about 7'3". I don't know what it is, but it looks really.
Can you imagine him and Obi on the floor at the same time at the 5 and the 4?
Oh,
That look crazy.
Yeah, because
They'll be flying
Tim
up and
is
down
all
the
about
court.
his. They will, but Tibbs is more where's the rim protection in that. So it's very, very slightly we might even see that lineup right there, yo. Much
Yeah.
even a Randall and a Obi. We may see it probably like 2 minutes a game, but Obi and Cam, I don't know.
Yeah, but if Randall is here, I could see Mitch and Cam.
Yeah, that's a
If
potential.
he's, but if
Yeah,
Obi
I
is
can see
not giving Tibbs what he wants behind Randall, he might go with Cam for a few minutes, just to see.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah, he
sure.
could. I mean, how much do you guys believe in cumulative length on the floor, not just length at a particular position, right? So
Yeah.
like because you can have a 7-footer and Mitch on the floor, right, and then a 6'8" power forward and
Yep.
Julius Randle, and then you got Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But what if you had a 6'10" center, but then you also have a 6'8" or 6'9" power forward, and then you got a 6'8" shooting small forward, a 6'8" shooting guard, and a 6'8" point guard or something like that, right?
Yep.
So now you have
Yeah.
a cumulative length, not just at your power forward and center position. So I think like if you want to go small, and I would like to see the Knicks be able to put this kind of lineup on the floor. If you want to go small at that center and power forward position, now you go accumulative length, so you still can have a lot of hands in the passing lanes and
Right.
things like that. So
Right.
if you have a longer point guard, a guy that can run point guard. So let's say Cam can run some point guard, and you want to go small. So you got Obi and you got Randle out there on the floor, and you got RJ, Evan Fournier, and then you say, okay, Cam, either Cam or RJ, we're gonna let you facilitate the game or something like that, right? So now you got cumulative length across the board, which gives you better switchability.
Switch everything.
Yeah, right.
Don't Toronto do that? Don't
Yeah.
Toronto do that now?
Yeah.
And Boston.
And
I was
Randall's
thinking- I
wingspan
was
is
thinking
7
sh-
feet.
I was thinking Charlotte, but those two. Yeah,
I think
those
Cam's
are-
is longer than that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has a
so-
7-foot wingspan.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cam
wow.
is like 7'1",
Julius
7'2".
Randle.
Julius Randle does.
Yeah, Julius Randle does. Yeah,
He
has
don't
long
use
arms.
it then.
It don't look like it, right?
Right. He don't use it.
And
He
Cam
don't.
wingspan like 7'2".
Sometimes he uses it and get low blocks, but otherwise, yeah, he don't use it a lot.
7'1" Cam.
7'1".
Yeah. So I mean, that's a lot of, if
And
you
RJ
decide to
6'10". It's a lot
6'10".
of
Yeah, if you decide, to go like that, if you have the ability to, while you don't have, that big, tall 7-footer out there on the floor, you got cumulative length across the board
Right.
that can
Wait,
still be
doesn't,
really effective.
I don't mean to cut you off, son. Does it quickly have long arms too?
yeah, he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
He does.
Oh,
Grimes, McBride and Grimes as well. Grimes is 6'8", which is just 3 more inches than he is, but McBride is 6'9".
Yeah, Deuce got long arms.
Wow.
How tall?
Deuce looked crazy. His arms
Yeah,
are so long.
yeah. He's 6'9".
How tall is Plumlee and PJ Washington for Charlotte?
6'10" Plumlee. I don't know about PJ Washington.
PJ Washington like 6'8", I think.
6'10".
PJ Washington,
Yeah, 'cause-
6'10".
Yeah, because he plays center. He plays center for them. I think he plays.
But he probably an undersized center though. Julius Randle is just 6'8", so you playing him at the 5. I mean, he does have a 7-foot wingspan. You're giving up a lot of size.
Yeah.
And then you got what's his name? Miles at the 3. And even though the smallest guy is Rozier, but then you still have a point guard that's tall and also with a long wingspan in LaMelo. So
Yeah, Quickley has a 6'9" wingspan.
Quickly is 6'9" as well. Wow.
That's crazy. Like I knew he had long arms too. Like he's 6'3" with a 6'9" wingspan.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean,
that
I think-
actually worked.
Yeah, it could. Are all of those two-way players that Sim you mentioned? That small ball lineup. Because that's one thing that's helping Boston. They
not
ability
Fournier.
to just switch everything.
Yeah.
Say that again? Not Fournier.
Not Fournier, yeah.
I mean, you can put Grimes out there instead of Fournier. And he's a little shorter though, 6'5".
Yeah, I wish
He
he
has
could develop some point guard skills. I think that'll push him, Grimes. I think that will push him to the next level. And I know he ran a point in high school, but
In high school.
I don't know.
Yeah.
His handle looks suspect in the league. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's just not comfortable. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't dribble much.
Yeah. Yeah. He got a 6'8"
Randle.
wingspan himself.
Radiology said that Randle uses his wingspan to slap laptops.
Long distance from like 3 rows back.
Right.
Yo, that's so crazy.
I think Randall. It don't look like he got long arms because he don't get off the ground.
Yeah. He definitely. I was surprised.
He's a stocky dude, man. He's a stocky dude.
Every once in a while,
He'll dunk on somebody.
he'll dunk on somebody
Every
every
once
once
in
in
a
a
while.
while, and you be like, "Oh snap!" But he doesn't
Yeah.
use it like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
This guy is so talented.
He like
It's just-
double clutches when he gets to the rim.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Exactly.
Sometimes nobody's there, and he's double clutching instead of just going straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does. He has. I don't know. There's a clip. Who was his coach? When he was with the Lakers, who was his coach?
Um.
What's it called? His son.
Walton,
Yeah,
Luke
Walton.
Walton.
Luke
Yeah.
Walton. And they was on the bench and he was yelling at him. He was like, "You are the best defender out here on the floor. Use it. Play
Right.
defense." Just talking about his ability to play defense.
Right.
And just kind of telling him, but you don't always play like you have the ability to,
Right.
because he's a physical specimen, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know,
He had the third highest defensive rating on the Knicks. Can you believe it? That's
Randall
hard
was
to believe.
The first half of the
That's
season he
hard to
was he was
believe.
top he was top four at that position, at the power forward position.
But I
Hard to
think
believe.
part of it, like I always say, when like down the stretch, I just see down the stretch when he was sitting, right? I just seen a lot of holes in part of the defense, where there was dunks at the rims and stuff like that because of the miscommunication on pick and rolls and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, I think I think he does understand the rotations, and he does. I think he helps out and stops the people from penetrating to the basket more than what fans and everyone gives him credit for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And and the spotlight comes on him when somebody is shooting a three and he jabs like he's going out there and then turns
Right.
a rebound, right? And
Right.
people look at
Right.
that and see that, but don't see some of the other things that he does do on the defensive side.
Right.
Then of course he does have he's got those lazy moments, right?
Right.
Where
Right.
someone gets to the lane and instead of him going up and try to block it or get in the way or pick up an offensive foul, what I'm saying, he just lets him go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I
When
don't
he's
know.
engaged. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, son.
Now, with some of those things like that, we don't know if the coaching staff is saying, hey, if that shot is already in the air, just turn around and try to get the rebound. Don't go out there. You know what I'm saying? If the
Right.
guy's
Right.
already in that motion, don't waste the energy. Just try to get the rebound. We don't know if they're telling them that.
Right.
We don't know what they're always telling them, but I don't think he's as bad of a defender as people make it out to be. It's just it was such a spotlight on him. When anytime he has a little bit of a slip up, it's gonna be out. I mean, and there's no
And them
doubt.
boo birds.
Right.
And there's times when he looked disengaged on
Yeah,
both
that's what I
ends of the floor,
thought.
right?
That's what I think it is.
Right.
I
So,
think
But
he
that's
knows
the
how to play
thing.
defense fine.
When he's engaged on the defensive end, he
Yeah,
is
he
a
plays defense.
very good on-ball defender. I've seen him defend even threes,
Right.
But that's the issue. Him being engaged and giving that effort for the entire game. That's the issue. But in terms of his ability, he has the ability to play good defense.
Like, he
And he
plays
He has to
understands
do
it as
better.
well. He
To
knows
me-
where he's supposed to be.
To me, you could tell
Yeah,
he
he
plays
has to do
defense
better.
depending on who he plays, who he goes against.
You think
Let
so?
Sabonis be over there. All of a sudden, he's locking people up.
That's true.
Yeah, because I noticed when he plays AD, he is all hype.
Yup.
It's
He,
like
he plays
that
Anthony
Kentucky
Davis very,
versus
very well.
Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, I mean,
you got to be consistent, man.
I'm looking at StatMuse now, and his defensive rating was like 109 point something on StatMuse. When you compare that to RJ Barrett, RJ Barrett's defensive rating is 112.9. Right. Julius Randle's is 109.4. If we,
Yeah, he has one of the best defensive ratings on the team.
Quentin Grimes' defensive rating is 111.4.
Right.
I mean, I don't know who people consider to be the best defensive player on the team. Who has the best defensive rating on the Knicks?
I don't even know. That's a good question. Let me see if I can find that.
Who is a lockdown defender on the Knicks?
Mitchell Robinson
I
is
was about to
his
say it
defensive
should be
rating
Mitch, right?
Yeah,
Like
his
we already
defensive
talked
rating
about this.
is 106.
6. So Sim, let me ask you this, because I don't really understand that stat. So when you say 106, is that good,
Yeah, what's
or
the average?
what is bad when it comes to
Yeah, I think
those
that, like,
numbers?
I guess the defensive rating basically, I guess you can kind of boil it down to when he's on the floor, this is kind of what the team is scoring. The opposing team scoring is average
Okay.
109 points,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
You know, somewhere
Okay.
around there.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
You know, even Miles McBride's defensive rating is 111.9. So I mean,
Mm.
you know,
So you said the lowest is Julius Randle?
No, he's one of the highest
lowest.
defensive rating.
Highest.
Oh, one of the
Like
highest.
he up there with Deuce.
Mitchell Robinson's defensive rating is 106, so that's good,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right?
106.
You know,
Okay.
that's good. Julius Randle's defensive rating, according to StatMuse, was 109.4, right?
Oh,
So you know, the higher the defensive rating, the worse for that player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, so you know,
So we have nobody under 90. Or even at 90.
No. Nah. Like,
90
I don't even think Rodman was 90. Like,
oh my
what?
gosh.
Well, we do. Faron Hunt was 82.4 in a limited sample size.
Hello? Who? Wait, who you say?
And he played 2 games. And
Oh my God.
Ryan, how do you pronounce that?
Akanako or Ashinado,
Yeah.
whatever.
Ryan A.
Yeah, in 10 games, 99.4.
Okay.
Okay.
The Sim calls him Ryan A.
Because I can't really get his name right.
Yeah, he just played 10 games.
I thought he was here for longer than that. Oh, well, he was.
He was
played
on.
in
I
10
think he
games.
was on the team a couple times.
Was he?
He got waived a few times by us, right? And then re-signed and then brought back.
I don't
Yes,
remember that.
yes.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I just know he was a journeyman in the league coming out of Villanova. I remember when he was in college.
And if you look, it's hard. If you look, if you go to like NBA.com, it's hard to tell about defensive rating because they got people on there that play like 2 games.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah,
defensive
that don't-
rating is 40.5 or something crazy like that. So that's you know, it's hard to tell that way. I think you got to put in like a certain number of games. But for the Knicks,
I say 60 games.
yeah, for the Knicks, yeah, you got Farron Hunt, Ryan, Daniel House, like those guys got a crazy defensive rating.
Oh, yeah, we're not counting.
You know what I mean? I don't know how much you can count those guys.
I mean,
Julius
if you
was
look at his stat on
109.4.
That was on StatMuse.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get the whole team so you could see them in
So NBA.com has a few different numbers,
right?
You know, a few different numbers, but still, yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what, you know. I don't know what StatMuse is using and what the NBA is using.
Yeah, because that's on the. I saw it on NBA.com. I saw that on the on-off numbers, the defensive rating on-off. So I didn't really know if that's. I don't think that's the same as StatMuse is using.
Right. So I guess everybody kind of has their, you know, their own little way of doing it.
So Sim, with him, with Daniel House going from Houston to New York to Utah, is it still that same stat or is it separate?
Well, what I was looking at was just the Knicks, so it shows
just the Knicks. Okay,
right.
Yeah, how do they split it up like that? And then when you do that, the team scheme have any type of
right.
Yeah, I can see why. Yeah, that would be kind of tricky.
Yeah, so it's hard to really get the defensive rating at just one, you know,
just the entire team. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you know, it's
we were 11th, so somebody was doing something.
Right. But when you look on it's hard to say. Man, I forgot.
Yeah, because they're giving you everything else except for.
I'm blaming all this on Tiz, regardless of what it is. Sorry. All the bad.
Well, you got a personal vendetta at Tiz, boy. I tell you.
A little bit.
I
I
mean,
Damian Dotson played some this year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did come back.
I liked him when he was
He
on
was
the
cool.
team. He reminded me a little bit of Grimes, just 3 and D.
3 and D. Yeah.
It's a good
Trying,
analogy.
Yeah,
trying to find the players, with the best defensive rating in the league for this season.
yeah.
I'm
I
about to say,
think,
wasn't
but I
Marcus
think you're
Smart?
right.
Okay, so I'm on StatMuse, right? And I put in players with the best defensive rating, and I got one for you, Jarrell.
Okay.
Marcus Smart.
So
Alfred Payton.
Bismack, Bismack Biyombo, 104.9.
Bismack
Number one.
Biyombo.
Yep. Jay Crowder, 105.3.
Oh, I can see that.
DeMarcus Cousins, 105.7.
Mm.
Giannis, 106.3. Steph Curry, 107.6. Jimmy Butler, 107.7. Steven Adams, 108.1. Nicholas Batum, 108.6. Eric Bledsoe, 109.5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rounding out the top 10, Alec Burks. 1 point.
See, you know you got to pull. See, that happened last time. You gonna give me one stat that made Alec
Oh,
Burks
this
a
is
good
the
basketball
second one,
player.
though. This is the second one.
Second stat. That's crazy. Before, remember, he said like he hand checked him the most out of the first 30 games.
Ball
I
pressure,
forgot
ball
what the stat he
pressure.
said.
Ball pressure, ball
That's
pressure.
what it was.
Like,
Ball pressure.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying this is the second platform that got Alec Burks up there.
Well,
Defensive
He
rating.
go.
ah, boy.
can't
Now
argue
you,
stats.
now you know Tibbs wasn't talking out his,
Yeah,
Talking out his neck.
You know what happened? I
He
only
is the
watched
best
game
option.
twice. I only watched the game twice. That's the
All
only
right,
thing
see,
that happened.
one more time.
That's the problem.
Only watched it twice. My bad, Tibbs.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at the. Yeah, Burks was. Yeah.
Yeah. Alec Burks. I don't,
So where was Thibault?
Oh, that's a good. That's a,
Thibault?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
He's
see.
not even. He's not even.
And did
here.
you say Marcus Smart up there?
I didn't see Marcus
I'm
Smart
about to say he
either.
just won Defensive Player of the Year. What are we talking about?
Yo,
weird.
that's crazy.
I'm just going. I'm just going by the
The
rating.
first guard that wins
just the
Defensive
rate.
Player of the Year is Gary Payton. And he not in like the top 10 of defensive rating?
Wow.
It's just the
Alec Burks better than him.
I don't know. I don't know what they're what they're going by.
Yeah, I would guess like people from Miami would be like PJ Tucker. You
Yeah.
said Bismack
Ooh,
Biyombo. I
that's-
forgot who
that's
he even
another
played
one.
for. Who Bismack
He plays
Biyombo
for.
played for?
I think he
Phoenix.
plays for Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Oh, backup center for Phoenix. Okay,
Yeah.
think
They
he
got
the
him
third
and
center.
Jay Crowder right up top.
right.
And I think
Yeah.
Bismarck is the third center.
Wait a minute, you said Melo? Melo who?
Yeah, behind McGee.
Ball? You talking about Ball, right?
Carmelo Anthony.
See, just because of that, this whole stat is trash. I'm not using this at all.
Yo.
I'm not using this at all.
I'm just saying. I don't know what ratings they use, but
Yeah, Melo up there, man. Like, come on.
I don't know what ratings.
What rank he ranked, Melo?
This is I just put here the players with the defensive rating in the NBA. That's what I typed in the StatMuse. Right, and then it just goes down and starts breaking down the players' defensive ratings. And
So Melo is in the top 15.
That's crazy.
20 maybe top 20.
Oh, okay. I finally got the
top
Knicks
20.
I'm about to say, even if it's
Oh,
top
okay.
50,
on
I'd be
on
surprised.
stat
Still.
news. Defensive rating. Of the Noel was 1.
Wow.
He don't count.
Farron Hunt was 2.
He don't count either.
Mitchell Robinson was 3. Well, Matt Mooney was 1. I didn't even count him. He had a
Matt
62.7. But of those who played, Noel was 1. Then, if you want to do it that way, Mitch was 2. Jericho Sims was 3, and Randall was 4.
Oh, so all our bigs basically. The bigs
Randall
that
was
got
4.
minutes.
Taj
I'm blaming
Gibson was
Tiz for that.
5. Then Cam 6.
Nice.
7. Obi Toppin. Is that right?
Let's just try to hate on Obi real
Obi
quick.
Toppin defensive rating was higher than RJ. RJ Barrett was one of the worst.
I can believe that.
RJ Barrett was. Him and Kemba Walker had the same defensive rating. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
believe
Oh
that.
wow,
That's
that's
really hard.
crazy.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's kind
I
of
think
hard.
is I understand that's hard, but it's been a lot of times RJ was
Him and
getting
Kimba was
cooked, and we did not say anything about it.
yeah. They're
So-
But
actually
he
of
also
those who
took the
played,
challenge
they're
of
the
the best
worst.
wing.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So,
He did. He
Yeah.
did.
But that's part of it, though.
Right.
Like I get
That's
that. It's
part of
like two things can be true at the same time. Like he was
Right.
getting cooked, but he was
Right.
getting cooked by the best players in the NBA. That's the
Right.
difference.
Right.
Right.
Right. Him
so,
and Kimba
so,
was the last.
right. So here's another. This is on Stat News. I typed in players with the best defensive rating in the NBA. Right. And then it says interpreted as players with the best defensive rating with a minimum of 2,000 minutes played per 82 teams in the NBA this regular season. All right. So this is what StatMuse is giving me. So you got Rudy Gobert, number 1. Al Horford, number 2. Joel Embiid, number 3. Nikola Jokic, number 4. Jaren Jackson, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka, Chris Paul, and then Marcus Smart.
All-stars.
Marcus Smart.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Marcus Smart is 10th. Then you got Evan Mobley, Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Devontae Murray, Devin Booker, Clint Capella, and Julius Randle.
Wow.
Julius Randle.
At number 20?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then after
Oh,
Randall's,
wow.
Mikal Bridges, Nikola Vucevic.
He was
Bobby
ahead of
Portis.
Bridges.
Yep. Karl Anthony Towns, Jordan Poole, Pascal Siakam, and then Kyle Lowry.
Boy, I know the Randall
Maybe it
haters
just
must be
looks so
saying,
bad because he's just missing rotations and it looks really,
Right.
really bad.
And so that was when I typed in the StatMuse, the best players with the best defensive rating in the NBA. So that's
Top
what that
20.
is.
We go.
Top
I
20.
don't know.
And the fourth
Randall
best on
haters
our
don't
team.
like that one.
I'm gonna
know, right?
need a printout of that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Hold on, a printout and a link. I want a link too. So I can prove this.
But you know what? This is just crazy.
Look, and then the
28,
thing is-
Barrett and Kimba were the same.
And then the thing is, to go back to Jarrell, when you look at these list of players, there's some legitimate players on there.
Right.
You
they're
know,
all
that-
all-stars.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
players on there.
Yeah.
It was like all stars. Like the top 10 was all stars, and the defensive player of the year
Yeah.
Yeah,
was 10 or something like that.
right.
Right.
So I mean,
Right.
I don't know. You know, maybe Julius Randle is a good defensive player.
No, he is a good on-ball defensive player. I don't. Does that take into account off-ball? He's a very good
I don't know.
on-ball defensive player.
I don't know.
It's just the rotate, and I think even with the rotations, it's not about him not knowing what to do. It's about effort.
Right. Yeah. It's about effort.
He knows where he's supposed to be. It's not like his
he just don't
defensive
wanna do it.
IQ is low. You
Right,
think his
right, right.
defensive IQ is low? I don't think so. I think he's just not doing it.
I think he's just not doing it because we've seen him do it.
Right.
So if he does it consistently one year, like the year that he went to the All-Star game, Julius Randle was playing defense
Right.
consistently.
He was.
That's part of the reason we was winning.
Right.
But you know his attitude changed, so that's what happened.
No,
to
but
me.
Jarrell, he had Bullock to help him at the same time, though.
Right.
And
I
we
was
got rid of. Yeah, we got rid of him and put Fournier, who is not even.
Part of it could
What
definitely be
Queen
team.
just said, the lowest
That's true.
defensive between him and
RJ and
Kemba?
Kemba. Him, RJ,
yeah.
and Kemba. All
So
three of them.
yeah, man.
What is
So
saying?
It seemed like we should be expecting more effort then, not less, just because the better defenders are off the team.
That's a good point.
But I do see your point though. Like, yeah, they did take away some good defenders, so
And
technically,
not just that.
matter.
Bullock spoke, so he might have been able to even direct Randle. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And kind of tell him,
That's true.
all right, I got this one. Like, stay, you know what I mean? Don't help now or help
Peyton
now.
did too.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of directing him on the defensive end. That's what the real good defenders do anyway. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
It's they play well, but they're also directing their teammates and helping them verbally.
Yeah. Step, they're asking for proof in the chat, right? So I
He
put
sent
the
it.
link. I put the link. I put the link in the private chat where you can, you can take it and put it in the comments section. if you want,
Okay.
but,
Or put it on the screen or something so people can see.
Oh
They probably
boy,
don't even believe Sim lying.
it's probably radiology probably talking that
Like,
junk.
somebody lying.
Radiology.
No way.
There you go. It's in the chat.
Hilarious.
I'm about to click this thing too. Y'all wild.
Queen, you broke the 3-hour mark.
Did I?
This got to be a record for you, right?
Oh,
It's
definitely is.
3 hours and 20 seconds. That's what's up. We broke a record.
Definitely.
Queen gonna sleep good tonight.
Real. For sure.
Yo,
That just goes to show how, things can be, deceiving. Like, wow. Yeah.
Look at Evan Mobley being a rookie on this list, right below the defensive rookie of the year. I mean, defensive player of the year. He's 11, right after Marcus Smart.
Right.
He's a rookie, and didn't even play that many games. Like, he only played 60-some games because he got hurt too.
Yeah, but that's at least he played 60 something though. Not
Right,
like
right,
Noel when he played how many games?
Right,
10
yeah,
games or whatever.
Right.
Look at Boston. Tatum is playing
Gain
defense.
credit.
You got Tatum, you got Horford, and you got Smart.
Jaylen Brown is right below.
I mean, they just switching that.
Yeah.
Look
Hold
at
on
that
this
right
list.
there.
1, 2,
I'm
3,
surprised
4.
Marvin. I'm surprised Marvin Williams is not there.
Yeah, I was about to say their
Who's
whole
Marvin
start.
Williams?
Is it Marvin Williams? Robert Williams.
Robert.
My bad.
Robert Williams. Oh,
Their whole starting five.
Robert Williams.
Samaki.
Yeah.
Samaki Williams.
Yeah, almost their whole starting five is up there.
Yeah.
But look, but look, just to Jarrell again, number 25 on that list is Kyle Lowry at 110.1. Alec Burks' defensive rating is 110.1 as well.
Right.
This is the worst stat. This is the worst stat in the NBA. This don't make no sense.
But that's the reason
Yo,
why. So
that's
they
crazy.
Julius Randle and Burks was in the top 30.
Yeah, in the top 30.
No, top 30.
Top
25,
25, top 26.
Top 25. Yeah, 26. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Woo.
But
don't know.
Luka is on that list. That makes me a little suspect, though.
Yeah,
But you know what? With Kid, he really did buy in. They talked about that defensively.
Yeah. I didn't think he'd be higher than Marcus Smart.
106.5.
That was a little. I didn't know Luka was playing defense like that. It didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like when he was playing against RJ.
I guess sometimes
RJ cooked him that night.
when you look at the guards, like they're playing against other guards too.
Right.
Right. So, those guards got the ball in their hands doing a lot of creating where when your bigs are guarding other bigs, a lot of times the guards are creating for the big, you know what I mean? But you can rotate back, but the guards got the ball in their hand, right? So a lot of times they're going to get into the paint. They're going to do a lot more of the shooting and the scoring and stuff like that. So maybe that's one of the reasons why like a Marcus Smart and those guys might be a little lower on the list sometimes because they're guarding other guards, defending other guards.
Makes sense.
Like, wow. Yeah. Look at Boston. That's impressive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Randle. He could be a talented two-way guy, even if his efficiency doesn't get better. If he's playing both ends of the court, it changes a lot.
It does.
It changes a lot.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We gotta
I
get
don't.
Obi
I'm
to
afraid to
play
say
defense
last
too.
words. We might go another hour.
Yeah, I'm say,
No,
when you
sir.
said
I
last
got, I
words, it was
got,
around 10
I
something.
got stick.
Yeah,
I
you
got
did say
stick
that
go.
like 10 something.
Then Sim start looking up stats. That's what it was.
My last words is just I'm glad you was still on. I was like I
Right.
didn't think you was on at all. I was about to watch the game. I said let me just throw YouTube on real quick. I
Right.
seen you still live. I said all right, I'm gonna jump in here.
I appreciate it.
So I
Definitely
appreciate
appreciate
you
it.
too.
Yeah, you
Appreciate you.
already know, Queen. Is already peace and
Yes.
blessings. Give thanks for another great show. I enjoyed
Appreciate you.
myself. Shout out to the General Sim,
Yes.
Jarrell, TC,
Appreciate you.
Queen, and you already know peace and blessings. And salute to the chat. Yeah, have a
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
night.
definitely.
I'm gonna do.
Joel, Staffer,
Yep.
Tony, and of course Sim, and the MBK fam. Forever grateful. I appreciate all of you. And I'm out until next week. Well, I got the crossover tomorrow on the Nothing But Knicks channel around 6:30 thereabout. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live and drop a video.
Yes.
Appreciate you. We out.
Peace.
Oh,
Peace.
hold on.